The first thing I felt was the cold. Not the kind that came from winter. The kind that came from inside my own body. 300 years after the collapse of the old world, winter had become a nightmare that never ended. And on the day before my awakening ceremony, I was sitting alone on the edge of 3rd High School's outdoor training field. I coughed. Hard. Coughed, cough, cough. I leaned against the back of an old bench, wrapped in a worn-out coat that had been washed so many times the color had faded. My face was pale. Too pale. Almost like there wasn't any blood left in me. I lifted an old white handkerchief to my mouth. When I pulled it away, a fresh spot of blood stained the fabric. A small red mark, like a flower blooming in the snow. "Jean." A heavy voice came from beside me. "Your frost sickness is getting worse again." A huge boy squeezed through the crowd and crouched down in front of me. He weighed well over 200 pounds, but he moved carefully, like he was afraid he might hurt me. This was Zhao Qua, the second son of the Zhao family in 7th Base City. Most people with his background would never bother talking to someone like me. But Zhao Qua was different. He held out a glowing blue bottle. "Drink this. It's a Tier 3 vitality potion." His grip tightened around the bottle. "Don't argue with me this time." I slowly opened my eyes. Deep inside my dark pupils, a faint blue light flickered. "Put it away." My voice was quiet, but there was no room for discussion. "Jean, my body can't handle it." I looked at the potion. "If I drink that right now, the energy will tear my blood vessels apart." Zhao Qua stopped talking, because he knew I was telling the truth. A skinny boy standing nearby silently handed me a cup of warm water. He looked like a strong wind could knock him over. His messy black hair covered most of his eyes. But nobody at school dared underestimate him. His name was Chen Mo, a survivor from the lower districts. A kid who had earned his reputation through blood and survival. He didn't waste words. He only said one thing. "Drink." I accepted the cup. The warmth touched my throat. I swallowed down the metallic taste of blood. Not far away, students in formation were whispering, "Look at that guy. He's coughing blood again. Tomorrow's the awakening ceremony. He can barely stand. What kind of ability does he think he's going to awaken? I don't get it. Why are Zhao Qua and Chun Mo protecting someone like him? I heard the frost sickness inside him is incurable. They say he won't even make it to 20. Someone like that shouldn't even go outside the walls. The monsters out there would eat him in seconds." Their voices weren't quiet. They didn't care if I heard. In this world, weakness was enough to make someone worthless. I ignored them, because they didn't know the truth. They only saw a sick teenager sitting on a bench. They didn't know who I really was. Only I could see the blue screen floating in front of my eyes. User, Lu Jin. Current level, Mortal Tier 2, 9 stars. Ability, Absolute 0. Rank, SSS Class Mythic Ability. Ice Emperor Relic Synchronization, 15%. Void Energy, 1,200. Additional Draw Requirement, 8,800. Condition, Frost Corruption. Recommended Treatment, High-Level Flame Ability or Life Tree Essence. Tier 2, 9 stars. Even among the teachers at 3rd High School, only a few people had reached that level. And I hadn't even gone through the awakening ceremony yet. I was already standing at the peak of the mortal realm. But my ability was too powerful. Absolute 0 wasn't ordinary ice magic. It was the authority over cold itself. My body was just a human body. It wasn't built to contain a power like that. Every time I used even a small amount of it, the frost inside me pushed closer to killing me. I needed money. I needed void energy. I needed rewards from the system. I needed a cure for this frost corruption. And I needed the medicine that could wake my sister. The sister who had fallen into a deep sleep, saving my life. This time, I wouldn't lose her. Silence. A roar exploded across the training field. Everyone turned. A large man wearing black military boots walked onto the platform. His face was rough. His body was covered in battle scars. A silver badge with 2 stars rested on his chest. Instructor Chen Taizhan. A Tier 2, 3-star warrior. A veteran who had fought monsters beyond the city walls. The moment he stepped forward, an invisible pressure spread through the field. Several students in the front row immediately turned pale. Their legs started shaking. Chen Taizhan looked at the students with a cold smile. "Look at yourselves. Tomorrow is your awakening ceremony. If you awaken an F-class ability, you'll spend your life working outside the walls. You'll be nothing more than another disposable worker." His voice grew colder. "But if you awaken a C-class ability or higher, Then maybe you'll have the right to call yourself a real warrior. He looked toward the distant walls surrounding the city. Don't think you're safe just because you're inside 7th Base City. Outside those walls, monsters are tearing at humanity's defenses every second. Chen Taizhan raised his right hand. The air changed. The moisture around him disappeared. A blue crescent-shaped blade formed above his palm. The edge was so sharp it made the air scream. This is real power. A true ability. He stared at the students. Watch carefully. The next second, he swung. The water blade exploded forward. It crossed 100 meters in an instant. Everyone held their breath. The target was a reinforced alloy training dummy. A strike like that could cut through steel. But nobody noticed the tiny crack already hidden inside the dummy's neck joint. When the blade hit, the angle changed. The attack didn't cut through. It bounced and flew straight toward the edge of the field. Toward me. Chen Tieshan's expression changed. No, the blade moved too fast. Too close. A normal person wouldn't even see it coming. The water blade that could slice through steel was already heading for my head. 3 meters. 2 meters. Half a meter. The wind pressure cut through my hair. People screamed. Zhaoqua's face turned white. Jean. He rushed forward. Chen Mo's hand reached for the dagger at his waist. But neither of them could make it. The blade was already in front of me. And then, everything stopped. I didn't dodge. I didn't even look up. I simply raised my pale right hand. 2 fingers. That was all. No explosion. No wave of energy. No dramatic display. Only silence. A tiny sound echoed across the field. Crack. The water blade touched my fingers. And froze. The blue energy began turning white from the point of contact. The cold spread instantly. In less than a fraction of a second, the attack that could cut through steel became a crystal-clear block of ice. It floated in front of my face. I stayed seated. I coughed twice. Then I gently moved my fingers. Boom. The frozen blade shattered. Thousands of ice fragments fell around my feet. The entire field went silent. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Zhaoqua froze where he stood. Chen Mo's hand trembled around his dagger. And Chen Taizhan. Chen Taizhan looked like he had seen something impossible. Because he understood. There had been no energy barrier. No defense technique. No clash of power. I had simply changed the nature of his attack. A Tier 3 warrior might have needed a shield to block that strike. I had used 2 fingers. I slowly lowered the bloody handkerchief from my mouth. Then I looked at Chen Taizhan. My eyes were calm. Too calm. There was no anger. No fear. Only the cold distance of someone standing far above everyone else. I crushed the ice fragments beneath my shoe. Then I spoke. Instructor Chun. My voice wasn't loud, but everyone heard it. Your killing intent. I looked at him. Was too weak. The words hit him harder than any attack. A Tier 2, 3-star instructor. A battlefield veteran. Someone who had survived countless fights. Yet under my gaze, his legs trembled. He unconsciously stepped back. And for the first time in years, Chen Taizhan felt afraid. Because the person everyone called the weakest student in 3rd high school was something else entirely. Something he couldn't understand. Something that wasn't supposed to exist. 10 seconds passed. 10 full seconds of absolute silence covered the edge of the training field. Nobody moved. Nobody even seemed to breathe. Then, cough, cough, cough. The sound came from the bench. I lifted the yellowed handkerchief back to my mouth and coughed again. That small, ordinary sound broke the strange pressure hanging over the field. Reality came rushing back. Instructor Chen Taizhan suddenly shuddered. It was like he had just woken up from a nightmare. His chest rose and fell violently as he took deep breaths of the freezing air. The arrogance on his face was gone. All that remained was fear and confusion. He stared at the puddle of melting ice beneath my feet. As a warrior who had fought beyond the city walls and killed monsters with his own hands, Chen Taizhan understood something the students didn't. What happened just now wasn't luck. It wasn't because the damaged training dummy changed the direction of the attack. And it definitely wasn't because my opponent's water blade had simply lost power. For one brief moment, he had lost his connection to his own ability. It had been cut off. Completely. It felt like a soldier standing before an emperor and suddenly realizing he no longer had the right to breathe. That sick-looking student. Who was he? What just happened? Did the water blade break? How did he survive? The students finally reacted. Confused voices spread through the formation. Most of them hadn't seen what actually happened. From their perspective, the water blade had bounced away, flown toward me, and somehow disappeared before hitting me. That was all. Damn. Zhao jumped up from the ground. The huge boy was covered in cold sweat. He rushed to my side and grabbed my shoulder. Jean, are you hurt? His voice was still shaking. Did it hit you anywhere? I lowered my eyes. I'm fine. I folded the blood-stained handkerchief and put it back into my pocket. I didn't even look at Taizhan again, because another message was flashing in front of my eyes. Warning. Host used 1/10,000th of Absolute Zero's original power. Warning. Frost corruption has intensified. Estimated next outbreak within 24 hours. Recommendation. Acquire void energy immediately. Possible solutions. Activate second throne draw or hunt high-level flame monsters. I frowned slightly. A familiar sweetness rose in my throat. Blood. This body was still too weak. Even using a tiny fraction of Absolute Zero was pushing my limits. My current body was only human. It couldn't carry the power of a mythical ability. Not yet. Looks like the teaching quality here isn't very impressive. A mocking voice suddenly came from behind the crowd. The students immediately stepped aside. A tall young man walked through the opening. He wore a custom-made school uniform that probably cost more than most people's yearly income. His hair was perfectly styled. A group of followers walked behind him. In his hand, he casually tossed a small red crystal. A Tier 1 flame core, worth thousands of wasteland credits. His name was Wang Ting, a member of the Wang family, the strongest financial clan in 7th Base City, and the most famous bully at 3rd High School. Wang Ting walked to the front of the crowd and glanced at Taizhan. What happened here? A rusty training dummy. A damaged water blade that lost its force after bouncing. And somehow everyone acted like something incredible happened. He laughed. Are you seriously telling me that sick guy over there blocked it? The students became quiet. Nobody wanted to challenge the Wang family. Not here. Not in 7th Base City. Taizhan opened his mouth. He wanted to explain. But then he looked toward me. I was still sitting there. Still coughing. Still looking like someone who could be blown away by the wind. And yet, a chill crawled up his spine again. He closed his mouth and silently stepped back. Wang Ting noticed. His confidence grew. He walked toward the edge of the field, toward Zhao Kuo and Chen Mo. Zhao Kuo, he smiled. The Zhao family really has fallen. Then he looked at Chen Mo. And you, a street dog from the lower districts. Tomorrow is the awakening ceremony. You two are supposed to be the school's promising talents. He tossed the flame core into the air, then caught it. But instead of preparing for your own future, you're protecting this useless guy. He looked toward me. Why? Do you really think he'll awaken some amazing ability tomorrow? Maybe an F-class support skill? Then he can serve you tea and carry your bags? Wang Ting. Zhao Kuo stepped forward. His massive body blocked his view of me. Watch your mouth. His fists tightened. My Zhao family may have declined, but we're not dead. Say one more thing about Jean. Go ahead. A metallic sound quietly rang out. Clink. Nobody noticed when Chen Mo moved. 1 second, he was standing behind Zhao Kuo. The next, he was beside Wang Ting. Less than 2 meters away. His black dagger was held backward in his hand. The blade pointed directly at Wang Ting's throat. No warning. No speech. Only killing intent. The atmosphere froze. Wang Ting's followers immediately panicked. They released their weak energy and prepared to attack. Seriously? Wang Ting laughed. You're angry? He looked at Zhao Kuo, then at Chen Mo. Do you two really not understand the difference between us? Boom. The next instant, a powerful wave of energy exploded from Wang Ting's body. Red light surrounded him. The temperature around him rose sharply. Flames danced around his fingers. Energy release? He awakened already? He's at least Tier 1, 2 stars. The students erupted in shock. Before the official ceremony, before everyone else, Wang Ting had already unlocked his ability. That was the advantage of the wealthy families. Resources, connections, and methods ordinary people could never access. Wang Ting enjoyed the attention. He looked down at Zhao Kuo. Tier 1, 2 stars. Now tell me, what are you two going to do against me? His pressure spread outward. Zhao Kuo's expression changed. His shoulders felt like they were carrying 2 massive stones. His knees slowly bent, but he refused to kneel. Chen Mo's movements became slower. Sweat appeared on his forehead. In this world, higher rank meant absolute suppression. Still standing, Wang Ting's eyes turned cold. Then kneel. When they refused, his gaze moved past Zhao Kuo, straight toward me. If you care about this sick dog so much, I'll destroy him first. A cruel smile appeared on his face. The flame in his hand expanded. A fireball the size of a fist formed instantly. Then he threw it. Jean. Zhaoqua's eyes widened. He tried to turn around, but the pressure held him in place. Everyone had the same thought. It was over. A normal person with a serious illness couldn't survive a Tier 1 ability attack. The fireball rushed toward me. Closer. Closer. Then, I opened my eyes. The darkness inside them was endless. No anger. No fear. Only emptiness. Annoying. One word. That was all. I didn't move. I didn't raise my hand. I didn't even change my position. Inside my mind, I sent a simple command. Release. 100,000th of Tyrant Frost. The world went silent. Wang Ting felt it immediately. The fireball stopped 1 meter away from me. It didn't explode. It didn't even produce smoke. It simply disappeared. Not extinguished. Erased. Like it had never existed. Wang Ting froze. The smile vanished from his face. Cold. That was the only thing he could feel. A cold that reached beyond his body. A cold that touched his soul. His heart stopped. His blood slowed. His ability disappeared completely. The power he was proud of hid deep inside his body like a frightened animal. Crack. His bones trembled. His legs weakened. And then, bang. Wang Ting dropped to his knees. The impact cracked the stone floor beneath him. The entire field went silent. Everyone stared. The young master of the Wang family. The genius who awakened early. The person who had been threatening everyone moments ago. Was kneeling. Nobody understood. Then came another sound. Drip. Drip. A strange smell spread across the field. Everyone froze. A yellow stain slowly spread beneath Wang Ting. He had lost control of himself. The Wang family's young master, a Tier 1 awakened fighter, had been forced to his knees and scared himself unconscious. What happened to him? Did his awakening go wrong? Someone call the nurse. His followers rushed forward. But Wang Ting didn't respond. His body shook uncontrollably. His eyes rolled back. His mind had completely collapsed under the pressure. Nobody connected it to me, because I hadn't moved. Not even a finger. There had been no energy wave. No visible attack. To everyone else, it looked like Wang Ting had suffered backlash from forcing an early awakening. Only 2 people understood the truth. Chen Mo and Chen Taizhan. Chen Mo's assassin instincts told him something had changed. For a brief moment, the air around Wang Ting had become impossibly cold. And Chen Taizhan was even more terrified. He looked at Wang Ting on the ground, then at me sitting quietly on the bench. His teeth began to tremble. It wasn't backlash. It wasn't an accident. That boy had crushed Wang Ting's mind. Without moving, the 6th student who had frozen his water blade with 2 fingers could destroy an awakened fighter with nothing but pressure. What kind of monster was he? I put away my handkerchief. Then I slowly pushed myself up from the bench. My face was still pale. My body was still thin. I still looked like someone who could collapse at any moment. I glanced at Zhaoqua and Chinemo. Let's go. I looked around the field. The smell here is getting annoying. The Central Awakening Plaza of 7th Base City was packed. Hundreds of thousands of people filled the massive square. 4 giant military mechs, each over 300 feet tall, stood at the 4 corners of the plaza. Their cold mechanical eyes scanned the crowd below. Above them, a massive holographic screen floated in the sky, broadcasting the awakening ceremony to the entire city. This was the day that decided everyone's future. The day that separated the ordinary from the extraordinary. In the VIP viewing area above the plaza, the leaders of 7th Base City and the heads of the major financial clans sat watching. One person, however, looked anything but calm. Crack. Wang Tianhe slammed his teacup onto the table. The reinforced glass surface cracked like a spiderweb. His face was dark with anger. Where's the principal of 3rd High School? His voice was cold. A bald, middle-aged man immediately rushed forward, wiping sweat from his forehead. Mr. Wang. My son Wang Ting. Wang Tianhe stared at him. Yesterday, at your school, he suffered severe damage to his mind because of this so-called awakening backlash. His eyes narrowed. He's still lying in intensive care. The principal's legs trembled. Wang Tianhe continued. I don't care what caused it. But I heard that before it happened. He was dealing with 3 people who didn't know their place. The principal swallowed. Yes. It was Zhao Kuo from the fallen Zhao family. Chen Mo from the lower districts. And he hesitated. A 6th student named Lu Jin. A sick student? Wang Tianhe laughed, but there was no humor in it. My son is a member of the Wang family. Even if something went wrong with his awakening, it's not an excuse for some street rats to mock him. He leaned forward. After the ceremony ends, bring those three to the hospital. I want them to take care of my son. His eyes became colder, especially that sick one. Drain his blood. Maybe it'll be useful for medicine. The principal's face turned pale. He quickly nodded. Yes, of course. He didn't dare argue. In the era of the Great Walls, the financial clans were almost untouchable. 3 students with no power and no background? Their lives were worth almost nothing. The awakening ceremony continued. One student after another stepped onto the platform. Li Chong, F-class enhancement ability. Strength increase. Next, Zhang Wei, D-class elemental ability. Water control. The mechanical voice repeated again and again. Some students cheered. Others collapsed in tears. An F-class ability meant a lifetime of hard labor. A D-class ability meant barely surviving. People with those abilities would eventually be sent outside the walls, to mining zones, to dangerous areas, to trade their lives for survival credits. Then, boom, a bright red light exploded from the second awakening monument. The entire plaza shook. Wang family member. Wang Yao. A-class elemental ability. Explosive flame orb. The crowd erupted. A-class. The highest level seen today. In the VIP area, Wang Tianhe finally smiled. He stroked his beard. The other powerful figures immediately congratulated him. Congratulations, Mr. Wang. Your family has gained another talented warrior. Wang Yao walked down from the stage with pride. He ignored everyone around him. Instead, he headed straight toward the 3rd high school group. His eyes locked onto the corner where Zhao Kuo, Chen Imo, and I stood. Well, isn't that Zhao Kuo? Wang Yao smiled. The heat from his awakened flame ability still lingered around his fingers. My brother was kind yesterday. He could have burned you into ash. But he didn't. He looked at Zhao Kuo. Today, if you awaken an F-class ability, don't blame me for forgetting our friendship. I might have to throw you out of the city myself. Zhao Kuo clenched his teeth. He said nothing. Chen Mo's eyes became cold. His hand instinctively moved toward his dagger. I sat quietly in my wheelchair. A cough escaped my throat. Cough. The frost corruption had become worse today. Standing alone was already difficult. I held my blood-stained handkerchief. I didn't even raise my head. Leave. One word. Simple. Calm. But it carried the feeling of someone who didn't consider Wang Yao worth his attention. Wang Yao's expression changed. You? A dying sick dog like you dares. 3rd high school. Zhao Kuo, step forward for testing. The mechanical voice interrupted him. Zhao Kuo took a deep breath. Then he turned toward me. I didn't look at him. I only gave a slight nod. That was enough. Zhao Kuo straightened his huge body. He walked toward the awakening platform. The crowd immediately started whispering. Isn't that the fat guy from the fallen Zhao family? His family is broke. What good ability could someone like him awaken? Probably something useless. Zhao Kuo ignored every voice. He reached the 10-foot-tall black awakening monument. Then he placed his large hand against the cold surface. 1 second. 2 seconds. Nothing happened. Wang Yao laughed. Hilarious. He can't even awaken an F-class. Boom. Before he finished speaking, the entire plaza shook. Not slightly. Violently. The ground itself trembled. The massive metal floor beneath the square groaned under the pressure. Then, a dark golden pillar of light shot into the sky. It pierced the clouds. The gray sky above 7th Base City split apart. A terrifying wave of earth energy spread outward. Several awakening instructors standing nearby were thrown backward. Stone armor covered Zhao Kuo's body, starting from his arm, then his shoulders, then his entire body. In seconds, the 200-pound boy became a walking fortress. A giant warrior carved from ancient stone. The holographic screen flashed wildly. Then 2 blood-red letters appeared. SS class, immortal stone armor. The entire plaza fell silent. 100,000 people. Not a single sound. In the VIP area, crack. Wang Tianhe crushed his new teacup. Hot tea spilled over his hand. He didn't notice. The city lord suddenly stood. His eyes widened. SS class. A once-in-a-generation defensive genius? His voice shook. In 300 years, 7th Base City had produced only a handful of SS class awakeners. This was a future pillar of humanity. Wang Yao's smile disappeared. His legs trembled. Just moments ago, he had been mocking Zhao Kuo. Now, he looked ridiculous. Before the crowd recovered, the mechanical voice sounded again. Third high school. Mo. Step forward for testing. Zhao Kuo removed his stone armor. Then he walked back. He ignored the financial clan representatives rushing toward him. He returned directly to our group. Mo walked past him. Silent. Like a shadow. He stepped onto the platform. Everyone watched. After Zhao Kuo's miracle, nobody dared look down on this thin boy anymore. Mo placed his rough hand against the awakening monument. Buzz. No explosion. No pillar of light. No earthquake. The monument simply turned black. Pure black. A darkness that seemed to swallow the light around it. Then, every shadow within 100 meters began moving. Human shadows. Machine shadows. Building shadows. All of them twisted like boiling water. The temperature of the plaza suddenly dropped. People looked down in horror. Their own shadows were moving, leaving the ground, crawling toward Mo, as if bowing, as if worshipping. Behind Mo, the darkness slowly rose. A vague figure appeared, a king holding a massive scythe. The holographic screen screamed with alarms. SS class, Shadow Monarch. Silence. Then chaos. Another SS class. The same school. The same class. 2 SS class awakeners in one day. The entire plaza exploded. This is impossible. Third high school produced 2 monsters. Did the whole city's luck gather there? The city lord immediately turned to his officers. Investigate Mo's background. Offer him the highest recruitment package. Give him military rank immediately. Wang Tianhe collapsed back into his chair. His face was completely pale. Finished. He had threatened to drag these 2 students to the hospital. He had talked about draining their blood. Now, these 2 SS class talents only needed one sentence. The higher authorities could destroy the Wang family overnight. Recruit them. Don't let other clans take them. Representatives from countless organizations rushed toward the platform. But then, something happened that nobody expected. Zhao Kuo, the owner of immortal stone armor. Mo, the owner of Shadow Monarch. 2 future legends. 2 people who could shake the entire world. They ignored every offer. They pushed past every powerful figure and walked back, straight toward third high school, straight toward the corner everyone had ignored, straight toward my wheelchair. Then they stood on both sides of me, like loyal guards. The entire plaza went silent. The city lord, Wang Tianhe, every powerful figure watching. All of them stared. What was happening? 2 future SS class warriors were protecting a dying, powerless student? Who was the pale boy sitting in that wheelchair? Cough. I folded my blood-stained handkerchief. I ignored the eyes of more than 100,000 people. Who's next? My voice was hoarse. Calm. Zhao Kuo lowered his head slightly. His voice carried absolute respect. Jean, it's your turn. At that moment, the holographic screen finally displayed the final name. Third high school. Lu Jean. Step forward for testing. I placed both hands on the wheelchair handles. With Zhao Kuo and Mo supporting me, I slowly stood. The entire plaza watched. Suspicious, confused, shocked. I dragged my weak, broken-looking body forward. 1 step, then another, toward the awakening monument. 10 feet. That was all the distance between me and the awakening monument. But every step felt heavier than the last. My body was already breaking. The frost poison inside me spread through my veins like a slow death sentence. With every step forward, the color drained further from my face. Zhao Kuo and Mo followed half a step behind me, 1 on each side, silent, heads lowered. They looked less like students and more like 2 deadly guardians protecting their king. The entire Central Awakening Plaza was silent. 100,000 people watched me walk. Nobody laughed anymore. Nobody called me a useless sick person. Every eye was locked onto the boy who looked like a strong wind could knock him over. Up on the viewing platform, the city lord gripped the metal railing so hard his knuckles turned white. Who exactly is that kid? His voice shook. Find out. Now. Give me his complete file in 3 seconds. The officer beside him was sweating through his uniform. Sir, he's called Lu Jean. He's an orphan. He has a terminal frost condition in his body. The officer hesitated. He was classified as someone who could never awaken. The city lord turned, then slapped him across the face. The officer flew several feet and hit the ground. Are you insane? The city lord's voice exploded. Someone who makes 2 SS class talents willingly follow him. You're telling me he's a useless person? Nobody answered. Because nobody had an answer. I stopped in front of the 10-foot black awakening monument. Then I raised my hand. A simple gesture. Zhao Kuo and Chun Mo immediately understood. They stepped back. Jean. Zhao Kuo looked worried. Your body. Step back. My voice was quiet. But there was no room to argue. The 2 SS class awakeners obeyed instantly. They moved 10 yards away. Then they dropped to one knee. They guarded every possible angle around the monument. The entire plaza watched in disbelief. 2 future legends. 2 people every major faction wanted. Were protecting one sick-looking teenager. I looked up at the black monument. Humanity's greatest technology. The machine that measured the power hidden inside every person. A faint blue warning screen appeared in front of my eyes. Warning. Host body is approaching collapse. Releasing the absolute zero origin power may cause irreversible frost poisoning. Recommendation. Use concealment function. Suppressibility rating to A class. I almost laughed. Suppress it? After everything I had endured? After dying once in that hell called the wasteland? After crawling back from the bottom of society? Why would I hide anymore? Why would I bow my head to people living safely behind giant walls? I raised my pale hand, then pressed it against the awakening monument. The instant my palm touched the surface, the system responded. Command confirmed. Unlocking 1/10,000th of conceptual restriction. Boom. Nothing happened. No explosion. No giant pillar of light. No shockwave. Instead, the entire city went silent. Not metaphorically. Actually silent. The wind stopped. The machine stopped humming. Even the sounds of breathing disappeared. A tiny cracking noise came from inside the awakening monument. Crack. Then, under the terrified eyes of everyone watching, the monument changed. It turned white. Starting from where my hand touched it, a layer of terrifying frost spread upward, faster than anyone could understand. In less than a fraction of a second, the 10-foot awakening monument became a perfect ice sculpture. Everyone froze. Not because of fear, because the temperature had fallen so quickly their bodies couldn't react. The city lord sucked in a sharp breath. He grabbed his chest. He was a peak 3rd stage grandmaster, one of the strongest people in 7th base city. But right now, the fire energy inside his body was trembling, hiding, retreating deep into his core, like it had encountered something it was never meant to challenge. And he wasn't the only one. Every awakened person in the plaza felt it. No matter their rank, no matter their ability, their powers were lowering their heads. Submitting. The temperature kept dropping. 20 degrees Fahrenheit. 0. -50. The gray clouds above the city stopped moving. Then snow began falling. Not normal snow. Blue-white frost crystals. They covered the entire city. Warning. Warning. Unknown high-dimensional energy detected. Sensor systems overloaded. The massive holographic screen in the sky flickered violently. The image twisted. The display cracked. The machine struggled to survive the energy it was trying to measure. Then, right before the entire system burned out, the screen flashed blood red. 3 letters appeared. SSS class. Then another line. Concept ability. Absolute 0. Mythic level. The screen exploded. Thousands of sparks rained down. But before they hit the ground, they froze into ice. Silence. A deeper silence than before. SS class talents were enough to shake a city. They were the people who could become national weapons. But SSS class? That was different. That was something humanity had only heard about in legends. A living disaster. A being capable of changing the balance between mankind and the monsters beyond the walls. A true forbidden existence. Thud. On the VIP platform, Wang Tianhe collapsed. His legs gave out. He slid onto his knees. His entire body shook. The pride and arrogance that had always covered his face were gone. Only fear remained. SSS class. The person he had threatened. The person he had called a sick dog. The person he had wanted to drag away and drain for medicine. Was an SSS class awakening. A monster standing above everyone. A god among humans. The Wang family was finished. Absolutely finished. Locked down the entire city. The city lord screamed. Activate the highest emergency alert. He stumbled toward the communication station. Soldiers, connect me to the Imperial Command Center. Right now, the entire upper district descended into chaos. The financial leaders who once looked down on me, no longer saw me as a weak child from the lower levels. They looked at me the way people looked at a storm, something powerful enough to erase them if it wanted. I slowly removed my hand from the monument. Then, cough, cough, cough. The moment the pressure disappeared, the frost poison inside my body erupted. My knees almost gave out. I bent forward. A mouthful of black blood spilled out. It landed on the frozen monument. The blood instantly froze, turning into dark crystal. Jean, Zhaoqua, and Chen Mo appeared beside me. They caught me before I fell, one on each side. I pushed them away. Slowly, I straightened myself. I wiped the blood from the corner of my mouth. Then I looked up, through the endless falling snow, through the entire plaza, straight toward the VIP platform, straight toward the man kneeling there. Wang Tianhe, the head of the Wang family, the man who had wanted my blood. I stared at him. No anger, no excitement, only cold indifference. The snow fell around me. The weak-looking boy everyone had ignored now stood like the ruler of this frozen world. My voice was quiet, but under the lingering power of absolute zero. Every person in the plaza heard me clearly. Mr. Wang. 100,000 people held their breath. I looked directly at him. I heard, "You wanted to drain my blood?" Someone told me, "You wanted to drain my blood." My voice was quiet, but in the silent Central Awakening Plaza, every person heard it clearly. There was no anger, no shouting, no threats, only calm. The kind of calm that made people afraid. Thud. On the VIP platform, Wang Tianhe dropped to his knees. The head of the Wang family, a peak third-stage warrior, one of the most powerful people in 7th Base City. Yet right now, he looked like a man who had already accepted his death. Cold sweat poured down his face. His expensive suit was soaked within seconds. His teeth shook uncontrollably. See crack. The sound echoed through the frozen air. Run? Impossible. Absolute zero wasn't just freezing his body. It was freezing his ability itself. The fire energy inside his core had completely stopped responding. He couldn't even move a finger. And the frozen awakening monument behind me. The blue-white snow falling over the city. They all showed the same terrifying truth. A living SSS class awakened human stood before them. In the Wasteland era, what did SSS class mean? It meant one person could destroy 7th Base City alone, and the Imperial Command Center wouldn't punish him. They would probably send him another city as a reward. Lord Lu. Wang Tianhe forced the words out. Then he slammed his head onto the metal floor. Bang, bang, bang. Each impact left blood behind. But he didn't stop. Please. I was blind. I was foolish. My son offended you. He deserved what happened. The old man's voice cracked. The Wang family will compensate you. We'll give you everything. Please. Please spare us. The entire plaza remained silent. Nobody mocked him. Nobody called him shameless. Because everyone understood. Wang Tianhe wasn't begging a teenager. He was begging an SSS class monster. Even the city lord looked at him like he was already dead. The city lord quietly stepped backward. He didn't want to be anywhere near this disaster. Compensation. I lowered my eyes. My face showed no emotion. I looked at the frost forming on my fingertips. The backlash was worse than expected. Unlocking even a tiny fraction of absolute zero had pushed my body close to destruction. Every organ felt like it was being pierced by thousands of frozen needles. Every breath tasted like blood, but I couldn't collapse. Not here. Not in front of everyone watching. In this world, strength was the only language people respected. So I needed them to remember one thing. I wasn't prey anymore. I was the hunter. Wang Tianhe, how much is your life worth? The old man trembled, then suddenly shouted. The Wang family treasury. Everything. You can have all of it. Also, the 3 refining factories outside 7th Wall. The mining rights to 2 C-class ruins. All of them belong to you. The surrounding elites sucked in their breath. Those resources were enough to buy half of 7th Base City. But nobody objected. Nobody dared. Not enough. My answer was simple. Wang Tianhe froze. I lifted my head. My eyes locked onto him. 3 days. Within 3 days. I want a third-stage peak pureblood fire-type abyss core. The plaza went silent. Everyone understood what that meant. A monster of that level lived deep in the wasteland. Even high-ranking warriors risked death hunting one. Then I continued. If it's even slightly damaged. If you're even 1 second late. My throat tightened. A cough escaped. Black blood touched the corner of my mouth. I wiped it away. My voice remained cold. The Wang family disappears. Wang Tian's face went blank. A third-stage peak fire beast core. That wasn't a punishment. That was cutting into the Wang family's foundation. They would have to sacrifice countless elite warriors. They might lose everything. But when he looked into my eyes, he swallowed every word of protest. I'll do it. His voice was empty. I'll get it. Then he collapsed onto the bloody floor. I didn't look at him again. I turned around, slowly, and returned to my old wheelchair. Let's go. Zhao Kuo immediately stepped forward. His massive hands grabbed the wheelchair handles. But the moment his SS-class body touched it, his arm trembled. Even his stone armor couldn't completely block the cold left behind. Chen Imo stayed beside me, silent, like a shadow. His eyes swept across the crowd. Anyone who looked at me too long felt his killing intent. The wheelchair wheels turned. Creak. The sound echoed. Ahead of me were thousands of students, awakening instructors, heavy combat machines. But nobody needed an order. The moment my wheelchair moved forward, swish, the entire crowd separated, like an ocean splitting in half. A 10-meter-wide path opened from the center of the plaza all the way to the exit. Nobody spoke. Nobody moved. Only countless eyes followed me. Fear, respect, a little bit of worship, a god, and two kings. The three people who had arrived wearing the poorest clothes. The three people who had not even entered the higher realms of power. At that moment, they controlled the entire city. The city lord watched us leave. Only after we disappeared did he finally breathe. His back was soaked with cold sweat. Immediately, seal every recording from today's ceremony. He grabbed his officer by the collar. Cut all civilian communication, leaving 7th Base City. Do not let this information spread. The officer hesitated. But sir, the Imperial Command Center. I'll report to them myself. The city lord looked at the frozen, awakening monument. His voice trembled. Everything is about to change. He didn't spare Wang Tianhe because he's merciful. He kept the Wang family alive because he wants to use them. A person like this. Soon, all 18 Great Walls will know his name. At the same time, deep inside the lower districts, in an abandoned underground shelter, the moment the wheelchair stopped, puff, I fell forward. A mouthful of black blood mixed with ice fragments sprayed onto the rusted metal door. My skin immediately turned blue. Frost spread through my veins. Jean, Zhao Kuo rushed forward. Don't touch me. I forced the words out. My voice was weak, but sharp. My body temperature had fallen to a deadly level. If Zhao Kuo touched me now, even his SS-class stone armor would freeze solid. Chen Imo stood there, his fists clenched, his nails dug into his palms. Blood dripped down. He hated his own weakness. He wanted to help, but he couldn't. I curled up on the cold floor. The pain was unbearable. It felt like someone was cutting my soul apart piece by piece. But I didn't scream. I refused to. Just before my consciousness was completely frozen, the blue system screen in my vision suddenly flashed red. Warning: post-life signs rapidly declining. Current body cannot support conceptual energy. Emergency protocol activated. System analysis complete. Abnormal soul energy detected. Conditions met. Hidden throne card pool unlocked. Congratulations. Second SSS class talent activated. World-ending black flame. Origin awakening begins. Boom. Inside the underground shelter, a tiny black flame appeared, deep inside my left eye. It was small, almost invisible, but it carried an overwhelming feeling. The feeling of destruction. The feeling that everything could burn. Absolute cold and absolute heat. Two opposing myth-level powers. Inside my broken body, they collided, and my body became the battlefield. I was trapped between two impossible forces. One was freezing me from the inside out. The other was trying to burn me into ash. My body hit the ground hard inside that abandoned underground bunker. My fingers dug into the cracked concrete as I fought to stay conscious. I couldn't feel my legs anymore. Not because they were numb, because they were turning to ice. Damn it. My voice barely came out. The cold wasn't normal. It wasn't just freezing my skin. It was reaching into my bones, into my blood, into my soul. Then the heat came. A black flame flickered inside my right eye. It wasn't a normal fire. It didn't spread. It didn't need fuel. It simply erased anything that got in its way. Two powers. One born from absolute frost. One born from destruction itself. And my body was the battlefield. A body that had barely reached the second level of power. A body that was never meant to contain either one. My left side was covered in blue ice. Frost crawled across my skin, locking my muscles in place. My right side burned red hot. Black smoke leaked from my pores as the flame fought to consume everything inside me. My heart slammed against my chest. Once, twice, 3 times. Each beat felt like a hammer striking a dying machine. Then the system appeared. A cold blue screen flashed in front of my eyes. Warning: host body damage has exceeded safe limits. Current load, 200%. Estimated time until total biological collapse, 3 minutes. Warning: Frost origin and Black Flame origin are equal in rank. Failure to stabilize both forces will result in complete annihilation. I almost laughed. Balance? That was the answer? I was seconds away from dying, and it wanted me to perform some impossible balancing act. Yeah. I gritted my teeth. Easy for you to say. Blood leaked from my gums. The moment it touched the frost on my left side, it froze. The moment it reached the heat on my right side, it evaporated. I reached out with the last bit of mental strength I had. Slowly, carefully, like I was walking across a wire above a bottomless pit. I didn't try to destroy either power. That would kill me faster. Instead, I forced the black flame toward the frost. I made destruction fight the poison that had been killing me for years. The black flame reacted instantly. It moved like a predator that had finally found its prey. It swallowed the frozen energy inside my body. The bunker shook. A violent clash of heat and cold exploded through my veins. The pain was unbearable. It felt like my body was being torn apart and rebuilt at the same time. Every muscle in my body locked up. Every nerve screamed. But I stayed awake. Because I knew one thing. If I closed my eyes, I wouldn't open them again. Push it down. My voice cracked. Push it down. I forced my will into both powers. The frost resisted. The flame roared. And then, something changed. The two forces stopped trying to kill each other. Instead, they started feeding each other. The deadly frost inside me became fuel for the black flame. The black flame became a chain that restrained the frost. For the first time in my life, the poison inside my body wasn't my enemy. It was part of me. Energy flowed through my veins. My broken body absorbed it, and the wall blocking my next stage of power finally cracked. Outside the bunker, 2 figures stood in front of the rusted metal door. Kai and Marcus. They hadn't moved for hours. Kai stood with his arms crossed, his heavy armor-like ability covering his skin in golden stone plates. Marcus stood beside him, a cigarette burning between his fingers. He never smoked it. He just watched the entrance. Then Marcus looked toward the end of the alley. They're here. Kai's expression changed instantly. A convoy of black armored vehicles entered the abandoned district. The symbol on the side was impossible to miss. The city lord's order. The vehicles stopped. The doors opened. A man stepped out. The ruler of the 7th city. Lord Adrian. A man who normally made entire districts bow with a single command. But today, he was carrying a wooden box with both hands. And he looked nervous. He walked forward alone. Don't misunderstand, Adrian said calmly, raising one hand toward the guards behind him. I'm not here to cause trouble. Kai stared at him. Then why are you here? Adrian glanced at the bunker door. I came to see Mr. Liu. His voice lowered. The Wang family made a terrible mistake. I should have stopped it before it happened. He opened the box. Inside was a glowing red fruit. A 4th-tier fire spirit fruit. It can help stabilize his condition. Kai narrowed his eyes. The city lord was offering a treasure worth more than most people would earn in a lifetime. And he was doing it politely. Sorry, Kai said. Boss said nobody enters. Adrian froze. Nobody had ever spoken to him like that. Not in his own city. Before he could respond, one of his officers stepped forward. Watch your attitude. The city lord came personally, even an awakened. Enough. Adrian turned and slapped him across the face. The officer hit the ground. Everyone went silent. Adrian kept staring at the bunker. Because he could feel it. Something inside. 2 completely different forces. One freezing. One burning. Both powerful enough to make his instincts scream. He was a 3rd-stage master. A person who had fought monsters beyond the city walls. But standing here, he felt like a normal human standing beside a volcano. If I stepped closer, Adrian swallowed. My mana core might collapse. His hands tightened. This is the power of a legendary bloodline. The terrifying part was, the person inside hadn't even reached the 1st official rank. He was only awakening, and his leftover energy alone was enough to threaten him. Adrian slowly placed the wooden box on the ground. I won't disturb him. He bowed toward the door. 3 days from now, I'll personally make sure the Wong family delivers the Fire Beast core you requested. He paused. And I've prepared a luxury residence in the center district for all three of you. Whenever you're ready, it's yours. Then he turned around. He left without looking back. Not because he was angry, because he didn't want to stay near that door another second. The convoy disappeared into the distance. Kai wiped the sweat from his forehead. The city lord actually left? Marcus stared at the red and black energy leaking through the cracks of the door. A strange excitement burned in his eyes. That's because he felt it. He whispered, "Boss isn't getting stronger. He's becoming something else." Inside the bunker, I opened my eyes. My left eye was glowing blue. My right eye burned black. I exhaled slowly. The breath that left my mouth traveled several feet before forming a small spiral of frost and flame. The system appeared again. Stabilization complete. Frost origin and black flame origin have reached initial balance. Power increase confirmed. Current rank, 3rd stage, 1 star. Another message appeared. Warning, host body remains too weak. Current control limit, 3/1000 of full power. To complete first physical evolution, absorb a fire-type monster core. I pushed myself up. My body felt different, stronger. The frost that had been killing me was now something I could control. The black flame that wanted to destroy everything had become the chain holding it back. A perfect contradiction. A perfect weapon. I walked toward the old metal door. I raised one hand. The thick steel instantly cracked. Then it collapsed. Outside, the sunlight hit my face. I looked down at the glowing fire fruit the city lord had left behind. A smile slowly formed. The Wong family. The city government. I picked it up. This city is hiding more secrets than I expected. Kai and Marcus looked at me. I turned toward them. Get ready. In 3 days, we're heading beyond the walls. The wasteland was waiting. The monsters were waiting. And I needed the core that would let me fully control my new power. I looked at the massive walls surrounding the 7th city. They were supposed to protect humanity. But standing there, they looked more like a cage. I had spent one life trapped at the bottom. I wasn't going to spend this one there. This city, I smiled, is way too small for me. I squeezed the last bit of energy out of the fire fruit and watched it crumble into ash between my fingers. Peak Tier 3 Fire Core, I said quietly. One mistake from them, and the Wong family goes into the grave with it. The ash slipped through my fingers. The moment the fruit's energy entered my body, the war between my ice curse and my black flame eased slightly. Just slightly. But that was enough. My body was still only at the early stage of Tier 3. Compared to the monsters hiding beyond the walls, I was still weak. But I was learning control. Real control. The kind that decided whether someone lived or died. A shadow moved beside me. Then Shin stepped out of the darkness like he'd always been there. "Boss," he said, holding up a blood-stained communication device. The Wong family made their move. I looked over. Their hired fighters left the city. Shin's eyes narrowed. 1 Tier 3 fighter. For peak Tier 2 fighters. They headed straight for the molten rift. He ran his thumb across the edge of the broken device. They're desperate. They're trying to find that core before the 3-day deadline. I looked toward the massive city wall in the distance. The wall that separated the survivors from the wasteland. Desperate? I repeated. I smiled. No, they're not fighting for me. I let the empty fruit shell fall. They're fighting for a way out. Big Rock crossed his arms beside me. So you think they're going to steal the core? Take the reward and run. Exactly. I brushed the dust off my coat. Old Man Wong never planned to hand over his weakness willingly. He'll hunt the monster. He'll get the core. My eyes turned cold. And then he'll either call someone stronger or set a trap and invite me to collect it myself. Big Rock's fists tightened. Damn it. Then let me smash their whole mansion right now. No. I shook my head. They want to play in the wasteland. I looked past the towering walls. Then we'll play there. Inside the city, killing a powerful family member created problems. The city lord would have to investigate. But outside the walls, I looked toward the endless gray land beyond. People die in the wasteland every day. I smiled faintly. A few Wong family guards disappearing won't surprise anyone. 3 days later, the northern gate of the 7th fortress opened. The massive steel doors, thousands of tons of reinforced metal, slowly pulled apart. A wave of dark energy rushed through the opening like a gray storm. The wasteland waited beyond. I sat in the back of an old modified SUV. My hood was pulled low, covering most of my pale face. Big Rock drove. Chin sat in the passenger seat. The three of us looked like we were heading straight into hell. A squad of armed gate guards stepped forward. Stop. The officer leading them approached the vehicle. But the moment he recognized the driver and the passenger, his expression changed. Everyone in the lower ranks had heard the rumors these past few days. The unknown SSS class awakened. The man who forced the Wong family to apologize. The man who made the city lord personally visit him. Some soldiers had even started calling us the one god and his two kings. The officer swallowed. Are you, Mr. Liu? The window lowered slightly. I looked at him. I didn't say a word. That was enough. The Tier 2 officer suddenly felt like all the blood in his body had frozen. For one terrifying second, he felt like he was standing in the middle of a frozen wasteland with death breathing down his neck. He stumbled backward. Open the gate. His voice cracked. Let them pass. The SUV roared forward. The tires kicked up dust as we disappeared into the wasteland. 2 hours later, molten rift. The air burned. The ground cracked open in places, revealing rivers of glowing lava beneath the surface. At the edge of the mining zone, behind a pile of black rocks, the Wong family waited. Lord Wong, we got it. One of the family fighters dropped to one knee. His body was covered in blood. In his hand was a crystal-red core radiating terrifying heat. Inside the crystal, something seemed to move. A tiny fire beast screamed endlessly from within. Wang Tianhe stared at the core. His face twisted with satisfaction. His broken finger had already been repaired. But the humiliation from that day still burned deeper than any injury. Has he arrived? Wang Tianhe asked. The fighter nodded. Reports say his vehicle entered the outer area. Only 3 people. No soldiers. No city guards. No hidden support from the city lord. Wang Tianhe slowly smiled. Then he pulled out an old signal flare. His eyes were filled with madness. An SSS class talent. So what? If he hasn't grown yet, he's just another body waiting to bleed in the wasteland. His grip tightened. The Wong family has survived for hundreds of years. We won't be destroyed by some sick kid. He raised the flare. Contact the Bloodfang Mercenary Order. Tell their leader, Butcher, the core is ready. Tell him to bring me Lu's head. A cruel smile appeared on his face. Afterward, the core belongs to him. And he gets 30% of the Wong family. The moment he finished speaking, a cold wind swept through the burning mine. The temperature dropped. The hot air cracked. Thin layers of ice began forming across the rocks. Wang Tianhe froze. Then a voice came from above. Cold. Quiet. Deadly. Wong family head. You went through all this trouble to find me. You can put the flare away. Wang Tianhe looked up. Standing on top of a giant black rock was a thin figure. Me. My hands were inside my coat pockets. The wind pulled at my hair. Behind me stood Big Rock, covered completely in his golden stone armor. Like a walking fortress. Chen was already gone. Only his shadow remained. Lu Chun. Wang Tianhe stepped back. You actually came outside the walls. I tilted my head. Then I smiled. If I didn't leave the city, how would I choose a burial ground for the Wong family? His face twisted. You arrogant bastard. Wang Tianhe crushed the flare. Now, Butcher. Kill him. The wasteland exploded. For powerful energy signatures erupted from the surrounding rocks. Hidden fighters stepped out. At the front stood a giant man carrying a blood-colored axe. His energy was terrifying. Tier 3. 9 stars. 1 step away from becoming a master. The leader of the Bloodfang Mercenary Order. Butcher. He dragged his axe across the ground. Sparks flew. So this is the SSS class miracle? He laughed. Looks pretty fragile. He lifted the axe onto his shoulder. I wonder how much blood comes out when I cut you open. I looked at the 5 enemies surrounding me. My black flames stirred inside my body. My ice curse screamed back. They were fighting each other. Waiting. Hungry. I slowly raised my right hand. 1 peak Tier 3. 4 peak Tier 2s. I looked at them. That's it. A small black flame appeared in my palm. Silent. Dark. Deadly. I shook my head. Honestly, I expected more. The next second, the entire battlefield changed. 100 yards around me froze instantly. The burning wasteland became a field of blue ice. And from that ice, black flames bloomed like flowers. Fire and ice. Together. Impossible. Terrifying. I looked at Big Rock and Chun. My voice carried across the frozen battlefield. Leave no one alive. The wind across the mining field split into two worlds. On one side, freezing blue mist rolled across the ground, cold enough to numb flesh instantly. On the other, dark flames burned silently, hot enough to make the lava beneath our feet tremble. The entire battlefield had become a place where fire and ice fought for control. The giant man holding the blood-red axe looked around. Then he laughed. Cute trick. Butcher's voice shook the rocks around him. His muscles expanded as earth mana surged through his body and poured into his weapon. I was killing people in the wasteland before you were old enough to walk. He raised the axe. An SSS class talent. His grin widened. Doesn't mean anything if you die before you grow. After I cut you apart, I'll feed what's left to the monsters. The axe came down. A wave of blood-colored energy ripped through the air. It was a strike from someone standing one step away from becoming a true master. A hit strong enough to split an armored vehicle in half. I stood on the rock above him. I didn't move. I didn't need to. The ground exploded. A wall of golden stone rose between us. The axe slammed into it. The impact sent sparks flying everywhere. But the wall didn't break, because behind it stood Big Rock. His 200-pound body was wrapped completely in golden stone armor. His arms shook. His veins bulged. But he held the attack, trying to touch my boss. Big Rock grinned. Better make sure you can break through this shelf first. His S-Class Stoneguard bloodline roared to life. The golden armor absorbed the force of the attack and pushed back. Butcher's expression changed. What? A Tier 3 fighter. A peak 1. Blocked by someone who had only recently awakened? He didn't even have time to process it, because the next sound was almost silent. A blade entering flesh. Behind the 4 Wong family fighters, a pale hand appeared from the darkness. A black dagger flashed. One of the guards froze. Then blood poured from his throat. No scream. No warning. Only death. Shin disappeared again. The remaining fighters panicked. He's in the shadows. Back together. Don't leave openings. They desperately formed a defensive circle. I watched them. Then I spoke. Back together? My voice reached them from behind. Do you really think that helps? They turned. Too late. I jumped down from the stone platform. The moment my feet touched the ground, the frozen field beneath us trembled. The blue ice spread. The temperature dropped. The 3 remaining Wong fighters looked down. Their legs had already lost all feeling. Ice crawled upward from their boots. Higher. Higher. Their mana froze along with their bodies. They couldn't move. They couldn't fight. They couldn't even scream. I walked toward them slowly. Wong Tianhe. I looked toward the old man hiding behind the rocks. Watch carefully. I lifted one finger. Then I snapped. 3 ice statues shattered. The sound echoed across the mine. 3 peak Tier 2 fighters. Gone. Not wounded. Not defeated. Erased. Wang Tianhe's eyes widened. Lu Chun. His hands shook around the fire core. This isn't possible. This isn't some sick kid. His face twisted in fear. This is a monster. Then he screamed. Butcher. Kill him. The core is yours. The entire Wong family will pay you. Butcher's smile was gone. He finally understood. This target was different. This wasn't a talented child. This was something dangerous. Something that should never have been allowed to grow. He bit down hard. Blood filled his mouth. Then he spat it onto his axe. Blood sacrifice. The moment the words left his mouth, his body changed. His eyes turned red. His muscles expanded. His aura exploded. The ground cracked beneath his feet. He forced Big Rock's stone wall apart and became a streak of blood rushing toward me. The axe came down. I looked up. This time, I didn't let Big Rock block it. I raised my right hand. A small black flame appeared in my palm. It burned quietly, like a piece of darkness had come alive. People always struggle so desperately when they know they're about to lose. My voice was calm. Almost makes it boring. I reached forward. My hand grabbed the axe. Butcher laughed. You're insane. A bare hand. Catching his attack? Even a master wouldn't dare do that. Then his laughter stopped. Because the axe didn't cut. It didn't even touch me. The moment the blade met my black flame, it melted. The weapon that had survived countless battles. The weapon that carried the power of a half-step master. Turned into molten metal. Right in my hand. Butcher stared. His smile disappeared. Then the black flame moved. It climbed the axe handle. Wrapped around his arms. His expression changed. No. Then he screamed. Aha! The entire mining field heard him. This wasn't normal fire. This flame didn't burn flesh. It burned everything. Mana. Bloodlines. The very source of life. A fighter strong enough to stand at the edge of master rank. Collapsed in seconds. 3 seconds later, the giant warrior disappeared. Only black ash remained. The wind carried it away. Silence. The fire core slipped from Wang Tian's hand. It hit the ground. He collapsed beside it. His body shook uncontrollably. He looked at me like he was looking at death itself. I walked toward him. Every step felt heavier than an explosion. Lord Wang. I bent down and picked up the core. The crystal was still warm. I wiped away the dust. Not bad. Good quality. Wang Tian had dropped to his knees. Please. His voice cracked. Please, Lu, forgive me. He slammed his forehead against the ground. Again and again. Blood covered his face. I looked down at him. No anger. No hatred. Just cold indifference. 3 days ago, I gave you a chance. I held the core in my hand. You chose the grave instead. His eyes widened. A small black flame appeared above his head. No. The scream ended instantly. The flame vanished. So did Wang Tianhe. Only a pile of black ash remained. The Wang family. A power that had ruled the 7th fortress for generations. Gone. I stood there holding the fire core. The cold inside my body reacted immediately. The ice curse inside me roared. The black flame answered. For the first time, they didn't fight. They wanted the same thing. Power. I took a slow breath. My face was still pale, but my eyes had never been clearer. I turned toward Big Rock and Chun. Core secured. Big Rock grinned. Chun stepped out of the shadows. I looked back toward the distant fortress walls, the place where the real games were played. Politics. Power. Control. The Wang family is finished. I tightened my grip around the core. Now it's time to meet our city lord. The wind blew across the wasteland. I stared at the towering human fortress in the distance. The 7th fortress needs a new ruler of the underground. And I think it's time we had a conversation. The battlefield was quiet. Too quiet. The only sound left in the ruined lava fields was the crackling of cooling stone and the faint hiss of frost melting into steam. I sat on a shattered boulder, the same one I'd frozen apart with my own power minutes earlier, and stared at the red crystal in my hand. The fire core. A monster's entire power source. A treasure worth risking hundreds of lives for. And now it belonged to me. Guard me. I only said 2 words. That was enough. Kai didn't hesitate. The moment my voice fell, his entire body was covered in dark golden armor made from hardened stone. He planted himself in front of me like a walking fortress. Behind me, Marcus disappeared. Not moved. Not ran. Disappeared. His body melted into the broken shadows between the rocks until even his presence vanished. That was the terrifying thing about him. You never saw Marcus coming. You only noticed when someone stopped breathing. Out here in the wasteland, that mattered. A single drop of blood could attract monsters from miles away. And we had left behind enough blood to start a feeding frenzy. I closed my eyes and focused on the crystal. A cold mechanical voice echoed inside my mind. Scanning energy source. Peak tier fire core detected. Energy instability, 98%. Current body compatibility, 15%. Recommended method. Combine fire energy with frost bloodline to complete elemental refinement. Warning. Pain level will exceed normal human tolerance. 15%. That was the system's estimate. A normal person would have stopped there. I wasn't normal. I had already died once. After losing everything, I had learned one simple rule. There was no safe path to the top. There was only victory. Or death. Begin. The moment I gave the command, I crushed the crystal. Boom. A wave of burning red energy exploded into my body. For 1 second, I thought I had swallowed a volcano. My veins felt like they were filled with molten metal. My skin turned bright red. Steam poured from my body. The black flame inside my right side roared. It wanted the fire energy. It wanted to consume everything. But the frost power in my left side awakened at the same time. Cold. Absolute cold. The 2 forces collided inside me. Fire against ice. Creation against destruction. My body became their battlefield. Every vein in my body tore apart. Then froze. Then burned. Then healed. The pain was beyond anything a human should have survived. But I kept my eyes open. One eye burned black. The other froze blue. I wasn't fighting the pain. I was using it. Refine. My voice was barely a whisper. But my will was absolute. The black flame wrapped around the violent fire energy and forced it toward the frozen half of my body. The 2 powers crashed together. Crack. Something broke deep inside my soul. Not my body. Something stronger. The barrier holding me back. The energy stored inside the fire core for years was finally crushed, refined, and absorbed. The system spoke again. Refinement complete. Physical strength increased. Body evolution successful. Frost curse suppression increased by 30%. Current rank, peak tier 3. I opened my eyes. A wave of blue and red energy burst from my pupils and distorted the air in front of me. I stood. My bones cracked. My muscles tightened. The sickly weakness that had followed me for years was gone. For the first time since my rebirth, my body finally felt like it belonged to me. Not a prison. Not a countdown. A weapon. Kai turned around slowly. For once, the huge man looked speechless. Boss. His voice was low. That pressure. He stared at me like he was looking at something impossible. I understood why. Before, I was a dying man carrying terrifying power. Now, I was a weapon waiting to be unsheathed. But I wasn't satisfied. Peak tier 3 isn't enough. I looked down at the ashes left behind by the battle. The Wang family's debt is paid. I turned toward the distant city walls. Now it's time to collect what belongs to us. 30 minutes later, the northern gate of 7th Base City was locked down. The atmosphere was tense. Hundreds of soldiers stood ready. Heavy weapons on the walls had already been aimed toward the wasteland. At the center of the gate stood the city lord, Adrian. Sweat ran down his face. He didn't wipe it away. He didn't dare. Because he was waiting for one answer. Did the Wang family return victorious? Or did that SSS rank monster of a young man destroy one of the city's oldest powers? A soldier suddenly rushed forward. Sir, a vehicle is approaching. Adrian's expression changed. What vehicle? The soldier swallowed. It's Kai's modified truck. The city lord's heart sank. Only one. Yes, sir. Only one vehicle. Only 3 people. That meant the answer was already clear. The gates opened. A battered truck tore through the dust and stopped less than 30 feet away from the city lord. The door opened. Boots hit the ground. Slow. Heavy. Confident. I stepped out wearing my black coat. Behind me came Kai. And Marcus. Then everyone noticed what I was carrying. A blood-soaked bag. The soldiers tightened their grips on their weapons. I walked forward and stopped in front of Adrian. City Lord. My voice was calm. You've been waiting. Adrian stared at me, then at the bag. His face turned pale. Mr. Liu. His voice shook. The Wang family. I tossed the bag onto the ground. The contents rolled out. A head. Eyes still open. The head of Wang Tianhe. Silence. Hundreds of soldiers froze. No one spoke. No one moved. The Wang family was gone. A family that had controlled the city's wealth for generations. Destroyed in a single night. By one man. The Wang family tried to assassinate me outside the walls. I stepped past Adrian. Hundreds of weapons were pointed in my direction. I ignored every single one. They hired the Black Blood mercenaries. My voice stayed cold. So I removed the problem. I stopped, then looked back at the city lord. Do you have a problem with that? Adrian felt the pressure immediately. A chill ran through his entire body. A problem? Only a fool would say yes. No. He straightened instantly. No problem. His voice became louder. The Wang family betrayed humanity and worked with outside criminals. He turned toward the soldiers. Mr. Liu's actions protected 7th Base City. Then he shouted, "Open the VIP passage. All troops, welcome Mr. Liu." The soldiers moved quickly, not because they respected me, because they feared me. Adrian personally stepped forward and opened the vehicle door for me. I stopped before entering. Then I looked back at him. City Lord. He lowered his head. The Wang family's territory and businesses don't interest me. Adrian froze. Then I continued. But from today onward, I looked toward the towering walls surrounding the city. I want half of 7th Base City's resources. The entire gate went silent. My voice wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. Who agrees? I paused. Who doesn't? The wind moved through the flags above the walls. That was the only sound. After a long silence, Adrian lowered his head. Deeply, respectfully. Everything will be arranged according to your wishes, Mr. Liu. I entered the vehicle. The door closed. And as the truck drove toward the heart of the city, I looked at the walls surrounding humanity's last safe haven. This city thought I had arrived to survive. They were wrong. I had arrived to take control. And this was only the beginning. The entire 7th Base City had gone quiet after the Wang family disappeared. The same nobles who had laughed at me during the awakening ceremony were now too scared to even look me in the eyes. They weren't worried I'd come after them. They were worried I might walk past their homes and casually leave behind a little black flame. 3 days ago, the Wang family had been one of the biggest powers in the city. Now, they were history, and everyone knew exactly who had written the final page. I sat inside the city lord's private chamber, sinking into a large leather sofa. In my hand, I rolled around a small red crystal I'd taken from the Wang family vault. A fire-resistant artifact. Useful, but nothing compared to the real prize. The Wang family's resources. Across from me, Zhaoque was going through the accounts. His face was almost glowing. "Brother Jean, we made it big," Zhaoque said excitedly. The Wang family had 16 mining sites outside the city and 32 potion shops inside the city. "They're all ours now." He laughed and shook his head. Su Tianxing didn't even complain. That old fox sent all the ownership papers over overnight. Chen Imo leaned against the window. He slowly cleaned his shadow blade, his expression cold. He didn't complain because he wasn't stupid, Chen Imo said. Wang Tian's head is still hanging outside the city gate. Anyone who challenges you right now would have to want to die. I didn't react. Convert everything into high-grade mana crystals, I said. The Wang family's businesses stay under Su Tianxing's control. We only take the profits. Zhaoque looked up. We're not leaving anyone there to keep watch. No. I opened my eyes. For a brief moment, the black flames and icy blue energy inside my pupils appeared together. As long as I'm alive, Su Tianxing will follow every order I give him. My voice stayed calm. But if I die, leaving people behind won't matter. They won't be strong enough to protect anything. Before Zhaoque could respond, the entire building shook. Boom. A violent engine roar exploded above the city lord's manor. The air trembled. Then a massive black aircraft descended from the sky. A golden unicorn emblem was painted across its metal frame. The pressure from its engines tore through the courtyard. Trees bent. Stone cracked. Windows shattered. A powerful voice filled with mana thundered through the entire manor. The Imperial Capital Envoy has arrived. The sound wave alone destroyed every remaining window. I frowned. That presence. A peak third-rank warrior. And he was already standing at the edge of the fourth rank. Zhaoque's expression hardened. People from the Imperial Capital? Rock armor covered his fist instantly. Looks like they really love making an entrance. Chen Imo disappeared into the shadows. He didn't need to say anything. He was ready. A moment later, we reached the courtyard. A young man wearing silver energy armor jumped down from the aircraft. The moment he landed, the stone beneath his boots cracked. He looked around arrogantly. "Where is Su Tianxing?" the man shouted. "Bring him out to receive the imperial decree." Su Tianxing hurried forward. The city lord, who usually controlled every situation, was sweating. "Envoy, forgive me. I wasn't prepared for your arrival." The silver-armored man glanced at him. "I heard your city awakened an SSS rank talent." A faint smile appeared on his face. "The people above are interested." He touched the sword at his waist. "I was ordered to bring him back to the imperial capital." He paused. "Don't worry. It's only for an investigation." Su Tianxing's expression froze. His eyes immediately moved toward the second-floor chamber. "Envoy about Lu Jin." The young man laughed. "Lu Jin." His voice was full of arrogance. "What kind of name is that?" He looked around the courtyard. "Before the imperial capital, nobody is called Sir. There are only people who obey." He pointed toward the building. "Tell him to come out and kneel before the imperial decree." Before he finished speaking, crack, the second-floor window opened. I stepped forward. I looked down at the silver-armored envoy. After completing my ice-fire body refinement, I still hadn't fully controlled my power. My body was stronger, but the energy inside me was even more dangerous. The envoy looked up. The moment our eyes met, his confidence weakened. Only for a second. Then he forced himself to recover. "You're Lu Jin," he shouted. He raised his chin. "When facing an imperial envoy, you should come down and kneel." "Kneel?" I smiled. Then I raised my right hand. The temperature around the courtyard dropped instantly. The air became heavy. Everyone nearby felt an invisible force pressing down on their bodies. My ability was called Absolute Zero Pressure. It froze the surrounding energy and crushed anyone trapped inside its range. The silver-armored envoy's body suddenly dropped. His knees shook. "What?" He pushed his mana to the limit. He tried to resist, but his power disappeared the moment it touched mine. His third-rank strength was nothing. His armor cracked. The stone beneath his feet shattered. Then his legs finally gave out. You dare attack an Imperial envoy, he roared. I stepped down from the second floor. My body moved faster than his eyes could follow. In an instant, I stood directly in front of him. I lifted one finger. A black flame appeared at the tip. The envoy froze. I leaned closer. I don't know the Imperial capital's rules. The flame grew brighter. But I know my own rules. My voice became colder. When you talk to me, I pressed my finger against his forehead. You do it on your knees. His face changed. No. I looked into his eyes. Kneel. The black flame entered his body. His scream echoed through the entire courtyard. His armor instantly froze. Then the black flames burned across the metal, twisting it into a ruined shell. The envoy collapsed. Both knees slammed into the ground. Silence followed. Complete silence. Su Tianqing stood there like he'd forgotten how to breathe. That man was an envoy from the Imperial capital, a person who represented one of the strongest powers in the world. And I had forced him to kneel. I looked down at him. Then I reached into his armor and pulled out a golden scroll. The Imperial decree. The envoy's eyes widened. Wait. Too late. Black flames covered the scroll. A second later, it turned into ash. I brushed the dust from my hand. Then I looked back at him. Go back. My voice was calm. Tell the people who sent you something. I held his gaze. I want the opportunity. I want the resources. But if they think I'm going to become their obedient dog. I turned toward the black aircraft hovering above us. A cold smile formed on my face. Then they should prepare a few more coffins. Because the Imperial capital had just made its first mistake. And they still didn't know who they had provoked. The silver maglev train tore across the wasteland, cutting through clouds of dust as it raced toward the Imperial capital. Inside the first-class cabin, I sat with my eyes closed, one hand resting on the city lord's command token that Su Tianqing had practically forced into my hands before I left. The old fox had done more than hand over half of the Wang family's businesses. He'd given me the highest authority token in the 7th base city. Officially, it was for my protection. If I ran into any stubborn city guards along the way, I could use it to command them. But I knew the truth. It was a pledge of loyalty. Su Tianqing was terrified. He knew that once the Wang family in the capital learned what happened, I wouldn't be there to protect him. And when that happened, he'd be the first person they'd sacrifice. Across from me, Zhao Kuo was turning over a weapon he'd taken from the envoy's aircraft. The high-frequency particle dagger hummed softly in his hand. Brother Jean, the capital really does have good stuff, Zhao Kuo said, his eyes shining. This blade could cut through a Tier 2 enhanced body like it was paper. Compared to this, the Wang family's guards were nothing but a bunch of amateurs. Chun Imo leaned against the window, calmly cleaning his shadow dagger. Good equipment doesn't matter if the person holding it is weak, Chun Imo said coldly. If that envoy hadn't come from the capital, your black flame would have burned straight through his mind. I slowly opened my eyes. The strange blue-black glow that had once filled my pupils was gone. Only darkness remained. I had reached the peak of the 3rd tier. Absorbing the fire core hadn't broken my level yet, but it had completely changed my body. Before, using absolute zero or my black flame left me drained. Now, that weakness was almost gone. How much longer? I asked. Zhao Kuo glanced at the time. About 3 hours. He grinned. Brother Jean, I still can't believe it. We burned the capital's order, forced their envoy to his knees, and they still haven't sent anyone after us. Is the Wang family really that slow? Slow. I looked out the window. No. They're waiting. Zhao Kuo's smile faded. Waiting. They want to crush us in front of everyone, I said calmly. They want the entire capital to watch them break the bones of 3 outsiders who don't know their place. I paused. But before that happens, they won't waste their forces. 3 hours later, the maglev train entered the central station of the Imperial capital. The moment we stepped outside, even Zhao Kuo stopped talking. The city was overwhelming. Towering skyscrapers stretched more than 3,000 feet into the sky. Floating railways crossed between buildings like a giant web. Massive holograms covered entire walls, advertising legendary weapons, advanced potions, and rare treasures. People walked through the streets carrying powerful auras. Most of them were already 1st or 2nd tier fighters. Some young elites even rode mutated creatures from the abyss like they were ordinary horses. The mana density here was more than 10 times higher than in the 7th base city. Compared to this place, my old city really was just a forgotten corner of the world. Damn, Zhao Kuo muttered. With this much mana, I could probably break through to the third tier with my eyes closed. Then I saw them. At the station exit, hundreds of soldiers stood in perfect formation. They wore black uniforms. A golden unicorn emblem was attached to their chests. The Imperial Academy's Enforcement Corps. Every single one of them was at least a third-tier fighter. And standing in front of them was the envoy from yesterday, Shen Wang. His face was still pale from the damage I'd done to his mind. But his arrogance had only grown stronger. When he saw me, his eyes filled with hatred. Lu Jin. His voice carried through the station. You're finally here. He stepped forward, a mocking smile on his face. You burned the Imperial Order. You humiliated an Imperial envoy. He raised his chin. Today, in the capital, I want to see if your SSS level talent can overpower the laws of this place. He lifted his hand. Capture him. The entire Enforcement Corps moved. Hundreds of soldiers stepped forward at the same time. Their killing intent exploded outward. The entire street froze. Bystanders backed away. Nobles and fighters watched with excitement. That's the guy from the 7th base city? The one who awakened an SSS-level bloodline. He burned the Imperial Order right after awakening? He's either fearless or stupid. An SSS-level talent means nothing if he hasn't grown yet. In front of the Wang family, he's still just a stray dog. Shen Wang enjoyed every word. He looked at me with a cruel smile. Lu Jin, kneel down and surrender. His voice became louder. If you kneel outside the academy gates for 3 days, I might ask my elders to spare you. He laughed. Maybe they'll even leave your corpse intact. I stared at him. A third-tier peak fighter. A body barely beyond mortal limits. Hundreds of so-called elites behind him. To me, they looked like toys made of paper. I spoke quietly. You call this an army? The crowd went silent. I looked at the soldiers. You're nothing but broken sticks pretending to be swords. Shen Wang's expression twisted. What did you say? He raised his hand. Enforcement Corps, take him. He never finished. A black cane suddenly appeared from the crowd. It struck the stone ground. A single tap. Boom. The killing intent from hundreds of soldiers vanished instantly. Not weakened. Destroyed. Shen Wang's face changed. He stumbled backward. For the first time, fear appeared in his eyes. Someone walked out from the crowd. An old, blind woman. She wore a patched, worn-out coat. Her body had no visible mana. Her skin was wrinkled like dry bark. She looked like an ordinary old woman who could barely walk. But the moment she appeared, every fighter and noble nearby froze. Their expressions changed from arrogance to fear. One by one, they stepped aside. Some even dropped to their knees. The entire Enforcement Corps immediately lowered their weapons. Nobody dared breathe too loudly. The old woman stopped in front of Shen Wang. Her voice was rough and quiet, but every word carried absolute authority. Shen Wang. She tapped her cane once more. Are you finished? The arrogant envoy who had demanded I kneel collapsed. His legs gave out. He fell to the ground. His forehead hit the stone. Cold sweat poured down his face. Grandmaster. Shen Wang's voice shook. Student deserves death. Grandmaster. Even Zhao Kuo widened his eyes. He stared at the old woman in disbelief. That title belonged to one of the strongest beings on Earth. A legendary existence beyond the king rank. The ancestor of the Shen family. And she had come here herself. For me. The old woman ignored Shen Wang. She turned toward me. Her blind eyes faced mine. But somehow, it felt like she was looking straight through my body. Straight toward the system hidden inside me. Are you Lu Jin? She tapped her cane against the stone. This time, the sound exploded inside my mind. My entire body tensed. My cold energy. My black flame. Even my system. Everything sent warnings at once. This woman was dangerous. Very dangerous. But I didn't step back. I forced myself to stand straight. The old woman's voice echoed in my head. Are you trying to burn everything the gods built? The air became heavy. Everyone waited for my answer. I looked at her. Then I spoke. Anyone who blocks my path dies. My voice was calm, almost emotionless. Even you. Anyone who stands in my way dies. I looked straight at the old woman in front of me. Even you. For a few seconds, the entire station went silent. Not normal silence. The kind of silence that came right before a disaster. The man kneeling nearby, the Imperial envoy named Samuel, lifted his head so fast I thought his neck might snap. He stared at me like I'd lost my mind. He couldn't believe what he'd just heard. Because the woman standing in front of me wasn't ordinary. She was the founder-level ancestor of the Stone family. One of the strongest beings protecting humanity's 18 fortress cities. A living legend. A true god-tier warrior whose name alone could shake the entire capital. And I had just told her she could die. A nobody from the countryside. A fighter barely past the first stage of the mortal realm. Samuel's face twisted with rage. He saw his chance to impress his ancestor. The envoy pushed himself up and shouted, "You arrogant little." The old woman didn't even turn around. Her dry lips barely moved. Annoying. The next second, bang, something invisible slammed into Samuel. The Empire's strongest envoy, a peak third-stage warrior, flew across the station like he weighed nothing. His body crashed into a support pillar dozens of yards away. Blood sprayed from his mouth. Several broken teeth hit the floor. Then he went completely unconscious. Hundreds of soldiers from the enforcement unit froze. Nobody moved. Nobody even dared to breathe. The blind old woman tightened her grip on her wooden cane and slowly turned her empty eye sockets toward me. "Interesting," she rasped. "Most young people break long before their bodies do." Her voice was calm, almost curious. "But let's see how strong your life really is." Tap. The tip of her cane touched the stone floor. That was it. No explosion. No flash of light. No dramatic display. But to me, the sky above my head suddenly collapsed. A force beyond anything I could measure crashed down on me. It wasn't mana. It wasn't a technique. It was pure authority. A pressure that felt like an entire mountain range had been dropped onto my shoulders. My knees almost gave out. Almost. Damn it. I gritted my teeth. The reinforced alloy floor beneath my feet cracked instantly. Lines spread out like a spiderweb. Then the entire surface sank several inches. "Boss!" Marcus roared. His body erupted with power as his stone-hide armor awakened. His skin hardened into an unbreakable shell as he tried to charge forward. At the same time, Cole drew his dagger. His figure blurred. He moved faster than the eye could follow. But neither of them reached me. They couldn't. Inside that divine pressure field, even two top-tier talents were nothing more than insects trapped in amber. They burned through every ounce of their strength. They pushed. They fought. They screamed. But their bodies refused to move. The difference between us was too great. So great it was hopeless. And in the center of the station, I stood alone, taking everything. Crack, crack, crack. The sound of my bones breaking echoed through my body. My muscles had only recently reached the first level of transcendent refinement. It wasn't enough. The pressure tore through me. Blood leaked from my skin. My organs screamed. My spine reached its limit. My legs slowly bent. The old woman was forcing me down, making me kneel. And the worst part? If I surrendered, the pressure would disappear instantly. Everyone watching knew it. The nobles from the capital looked at me like they were already looking at a corpse. "Fool," someone whispered. "He challenged a god-tier warrior?" Another laughed. "He deserves whatever happens." The pressure kept increasing. My vision blurred. The warning messages inside my mind turned bright red. My system screamed. "Warning. Physical structure reaching critical failure. Warning. Severe internal damage detected. Warning. Activate black flame defense immediately." I ignored every message. My body bent lower. My blood dripped onto the cracked floor. But my legs, they stayed planted, like iron spikes driven into the earth. They didn't bend, not even an inch. I lowered my head. Then I laughed. A rough, animal-like sound escaped my throat. "Old woman." I looked up. My face was covered in blood. But I smiled. A wild smile. A dangerous smile. "You really think you can make me kneel?" The air changed. My left eye turned deep blue. My right eye erupted with black flames. Cold and fire. Two impossible forces awakened at the same time. I didn't attack. I couldn't. A mortal-level warrior couldn't break a god-tier defense. Instead, I released everything hidden inside my soul. My two SSS rank bloodlines. My true existence. My will. I used everything I had to stand against her divine pressure. "Get up." My voice shook. Then I screamed. "Get up." Boom. The station shook. Slowly. Painfully. 1 inch at a time. I forced my body upright. The pressure that could crush buildings pushed down on me. But I stood. The blue frost and black flames wrapped around my body. Not as a weapon. As a declaration. I would not bow. The blind old woman watched silently. 10 seconds passed. Then, she laughed. A dry, ancient laugh that sounded almost like a bird calling in the dark. Ha ha. Tap. Her cane struck the ground a third time. Instantly, The divine pressure vanished, like it had never existed. Marcus and Cole collapsed forward, finally able to move again. They gasped for air. Their clothes were soaked with sweat. Then they rushed to my side. I stood there, barely holding myself together. I wiped the blood from the corner of my mouth with my thumb. The flames disappeared. The frost faded. But my eyes stayed locked on the old woman. She didn't care. "You passed," she said. Then she turned toward the empty sky above the Capitol. Her voice changed. It wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. Every hidden powerhouse watching from the shadows heard her clearly. Listen carefully. Her voice echoed through the entire city. "This boy belongs to the St. Martial Academy now." A cold wind moved through the station. The old rules remain. People of the same generation fight with their own strength. If someone dies in the arena or in the wastelands, that is their own failure. Her tone suddenly became terrifying. But if any old monster dares to use their higher rank to attack him from the shadows, the air froze. They'll suffer the same fate as the broken branch of the Valen family. I'll personally erase their entire bloodline. The moment she said that, the killing intent surrounding me disappeared. All those hidden predators watching from the dark backed away. Everyone understood. The old woman wasn't protecting me. She was throwing me into the arena. She had locked the gates. No older warriors could interfere. No one could save the young geniuses from what was coming. She wanted to see who survived. The hunter or the monster. "Ethan." The old woman turned slightly toward me. "The Capitol's rules are set." She pointed her cane toward the massive academy gates in the distance. "That school contains the strongest young warriors from all 18 fortress cities. SS rank talents, S rank monsters, and heirs from powerful families who were raised on endless resources." Her voice became almost amused. "You want to challenge the gods? Then first, walk over the bodies of these little monsters." The moment those words left her mouth, her body began breaking apart, not into dust, into light. Tiny stars scattered into the air. Only then did I realize the truth. She had never been here. Not physically. This entire encounter had only been a projection of her spirit. And even a projection had nearly crushed my mortal body. The central station fell silent again. Everyone understood what happened next. From this moment on, I was the target. Every young warrior under 30 could challenge me. Every victory against me would become a legend. Kill the SSS rank newcomer. Step over my corpse. Become famous across the world. Marcus spat blood onto the floor and shook his head. "That old lady is brutal," he muttered. "She just painted a target on your back for the entire Capitol." Cole spun his dagger once before sliding it away. "Better this way," he said coldly. "At least now the old monsters have to stay hidden." I took a deep breath. I forced my injured body to calm down. Then I looked ahead. The gates of St. Martial Academy towered in the distance. A fortress waiting to swallow anyone who entered. Hatred. I grabbed my blood-stained collar. Then I walked forward. Step by step. My back was straight. My eyes were cold. If they want to turn this place into a hunting ground. I smiled. Fine. Let's see who ends up as the prey. Because when this game is over, I'll be the one standing on top of the bones. The registration hall at St. Martial Academy was packed. The moment Xiaoqua shoved open the glass doors, the entire room went quiet. Not completely, just enough. 3 seconds of silence. 300 pairs of eyes turned toward us. I could feel every stare land on me. Curiosity, greed, jealousy, and hatred. The old master's announcement at Central Station had already spread through the upper levels of the capital. Among the younger generation, settle things yourselves. Life or death. That one sentence had turned me into a target. To the elites of the capital, I wasn't a person anymore. I was a prize. A legendary monster waiting to be defeated. Whoever took me down would become famous overnight. I ignored them all. My body still hadn't fully recovered from the journey. My face was pale, and the feverish flush on my cheeks made me look even weaker than I actually was. That was exactly what they saw. A sickly kid in a wheelchair. A nobody from the outer districts. They had no idea what was underneath. I rolled forward toward the first registration desk. The clerk looked up. 7th Base City. Lu Jin. Xiaoqua. Chinemo. The person behind the counter was a third-year student wearing an academy badge. He glanced at me. Then he looked at my thin frame. A mocking smile slowly appeared on his face. "So this is the SSS rank genius from 7th Base City?" He dragged out the words SSS rank on purpose. A few people nearby laughed. The clerk tapped his virtual screen a few times. Then he casually tossed 3 gray access cards onto the counter. Here. Basement housing, District D, 10 people per room. He leaned back. Monthly allowance? 5 low-grade mana crystals. His smile widened. Take the cards and move along. Don't block the path for the real heirs. Zhaoqua's expression changed instantly. His thick eyebrows dropped. His huge hand slammed onto the desk. The impact shook the holographic display. Are you blind? His voice thundered through the hall. He pointed at the giant ranking screen above us. The rules are right there. First-ranked freshman gets an S-rank mana-gathering villa and 100 mid-grade crystals every month. His eyes narrowed. You trying to pretend you can't read? The third-year student's face darkened. He stepped back slightly. Then he sneered. A country bumpkin with a little power thinks he can cause trouble at St. Martial Academy? He pointed toward the VIP entrance above. The S-rank villas exist, but they belong to people who earned them. His gaze swept over us. Not some half-trained kids from the outer cities. Before Zhaoqu could explode again, a voice came from the second floor. I want that S-rank villa. Everyone looked up. Slow footsteps echoed against the metal stairs. A young man walked down. Dark red combat gear. Short wine-colored hair. A group of followers surrounded him. The moment he appeared, the atmosphere changed. His mana pressure spread through the room like a volcano about to erupt. Every breath distorted the air around him. Whispers exploded through the crowd. Chu Yunfan, second son of the Chu family. He broke through to the 4th tier. 18 years old and already a 4-star 4th-tier fighter. People moved aside, not because they were ordered to, because they were afraid. Chu Yunfan walked to the desk. He didn't even look at the gray access cards. Instead, he placed both hands on the counter and leaned toward me. You're Lu Jin? His eyes were cold. The guy who said anyone standing in his way would die? I looked at him silently. Chu Yunfan smiled. The old master said you could challenge the gods. He raised his hand. Purple flames danced across his fingertips. I don't believe it. The temperature in the room rose. Give me your S-rank villa allocation. He stared down at me. Then get on your knees. 3 bows. Call me Grandpa Chu. His 4th-tier pressure crashed down on us. Like a tidal wave. Most freshmen couldn't even breathe. Everyone watching thought the same thing. A 4th-tier fighter against a 3rd-tier nobody. This was over. Zhaoqu stepped forward. Golden light erupted across his body. Rock-like armor covered him instantly. His SSS-ranked defensive ability activated. Try touching my brother, and... Zhaoqu, I interrupted him. Step back. He froze. I slowly turned my wheelchair. Then I faced Chu Yunfan directly. I covered my mouth with a handkerchief. A cough escaped. A little blood stained the cloth. Chu Yunfan laughed. What's wrong? The famous SSS-ranked genius is coughing blood already? His smile grew cruel. With a body like that, I could break you with 1 finger. He never finished the sentence. Because I moved. I didn't use absolute zero. I didn't use my black flame. I didn't even release my mana. I simply raised my right hand and caught his finger. The entire hall froze. Nobody saw it happen. Nobody reacted. My hand locked around his finger like steel. Chu Yunfan's expression changed. For the first time, fear appeared in his eyes. His 4th-tier physical strength was useless against me. His finger trembled in my grip. You. Crack. The sound echoed through the entire hall. His finger bent backward. 90 degrees. Bone broke through skin. Blood sprayed across the floor. Chu Yunfan screamed. A real scream. I looked at him calmly. 4th tier. I released his finger. Then I lifted my leg. No technique. No ability. Just pure strength. My foot slammed into his knee. Boom. The joint shattered. Chu Yunfan collapsed. One knee hit the ground. The same person who had walked in like a king was now kneeling in front of me. His purple flames disappeared before they could even form. Silence. Absolute silence. Everyone stared. No ability. No mana. No special technique. I had crushed a 4th-tier genius using nothing but my body. The whispers started immediately. What is he? How is that possible? His ability is SSS rank. But his body is a monster too. Chu Yunfan grabbed his injured hand. His face twisted in pain. Let go. His voice shook with rage. I'll kill you. I swear I'll kill you. I looked down at him. Then I smiled faintly. The dogs in the capital really do bark louder. I released him. I pulled out my blood-stained handkerchief. Slowly, carefully, I wiped the blood from my fingers. Then I threw it onto his face. The cloth covered his twisted expression. I turned toward the registration desk. The third-year clerk was shaking. His face had gone completely pale. I looked at him. The S-rank villa key. He swallowed. I waited. His hands trembled as he opened the drawer. Do I need to go get it myself? No. The clerk nearly shouted. He pulled out a black card with a gold edge. Both hands offered it to me. Lu Jean. Your key. Villa 1. I took the card. I didn't look back at Chu Yunfan. I didn't care about the crowd. I simply moved forward. Zhao Kuo followed beside me. Chen Imo walked on my other side. And every genius in the hall stepped away, like they were avoiding a monster. Only after we disappeared down the corridor did the entire registration hall explode. But nobody noticed one thing. The freshman rankings screen had changed. The St. Martial Deathmatch board. Chu Yunfan's name, once ranked 10th, had turned gray. And above it, a new name appeared. Bright. Red. Like it had been written in blood. Lu Jean. The gates to the S-rank Villa District floated high above St. Martial Academy on a private island. Even before we entered, I could feel the mana density from inside. The moment I scanned my access card. Identity confirmed. Welcome to Villa 1. The massive alloy doors slid open. And the next second, a wave of pure mana slammed into us. It wasn't just energy. It felt like walking into the center of a storm. Holy crap. Zhao Kuo stumbled back half a step. The 200-pound guy took a deep breath, and his entire body reacted. His bones cracked. His muscles tightened. The mana here was so concentrated that even breathing it in was strengthening him. Brother Jean, Zhao Kuo said, looking around in disbelief. This place is insane. One breath here is worth 3 days of training back in 7th Base City. Chen Imo didn't say anything. But for once, his usually cold eyes showed surprise. The shadows beneath his feet were moving, growing, almost like they were alive. The environment itself was feeding his shadow ability. I sat in my wheelchair as Zhao Kuo pushed me into the villa, but I wasn't impressed. I was watching. The room was too perfect, too generous. The academy had given me first place. The old master had made it clear that everyone was watching me. There was no way St. Martial Academy would simply hand me a luxury villa and let me settle in peacefully. I narrowed my eyes. Something was wrong. Zhao Kuo. My voice was calm. Hold your breath. He froze. What? I tapped the armrest of my wheelchair. Now. He didn't question me. That was the difference between Zhao Kuo and everyone else. He trusted me completely. He immediately held his breath and activated a thin layer of his rock armor around his mouth and nose. Chen Imo reacted even faster. His body disappeared into the shadow of the corner. His dagger appeared in his hand. Brother Jean, Zhao Kuo asked through the armor. Is this a trap? I looked toward the fountain in the center of the room. White mana mist poured from it continuously. Yeah. I covered my mouth with my handkerchief. A cough escaped. Then I looked at the mist. The mana is too pure. I paused. Pure enough to hide something. My eyes narrowed. There's a trace of 4th-tier peak earth fire poison mixed inside. Most people wouldn't notice. The moment I finished speaking, the villa doors slammed shut. Warning alarms screamed. The white mist instantly changed. It turned dark red. The temperature inside the villa began rising. Fast. 30 degrees. 70. 120. The furniture started burning. The expensive carpet turned to ash. The air filled with the smell of sulfur. What the hell? Zhao Kuo gritted his teeth. Sweat poured down his face. The golden armor covering his body began melting under the red mist. Chen Imo was forced out of the shadows. His expression changed. Shadow abilities hated extreme heat. His hand tightened around his dagger. A 4th-tier killing formation. I leaned back in my wheelchair. I wasn't surprised. I had expected this. The old master might have allowed me into St. Martial Academy. But the people here? They wouldn't accept an outsider taking the top freshman position without testing me. This villa was both a reward and a warning. Survive it, and you belonged here. Fail, and the poison would destroy your body. You have to be kidding me. Zhao Kuo's legs trembled. The temperature is still rising. His armor flickered. Even with an SSS-ranked defensive ability, he couldn't keep up. A 4th-tier formation wasn't something a newly awakened fighter could resist. Behind me. I said it quietly. Zhao Kuo and Chen Imo immediately moved behind my wheelchair. The strange thing was, the entire villa had become an inferno. But within 3 feet of me, there was no heat, only cold. A chill surrounded my body. I looked at the burning red mist. So that's your test? I slowly raised my right hand. You're using fire poison against me? A faint smile appeared on my face. Inside my body, my absolute zero core awakened. It sensed the pure fire energy outside. It wanted to explode, to freeze everything. But I suppressed it. I didn't need my full power. Not yet. I only activated one thing. My right eye. A tiny flame appeared on my fingertip. Black. Silent. Cold. The black flame. The moment it appeared, the entire formation stopped. The red mist trembled, like an army realizing its enemy commander had arrived. Eat. I flicked my finger. The black flame flew forward. It landed directly on the formation core. The next moment, the villa went silent. No explosion. No shockwave. Only a terrifying sound. Like something hungry feeding. The black flame expanded. It became a bottomless void, and it started consuming the fire poison. The energy that could melt a third-tier fighter disappeared instantly. The entire formation's power was dragged into the flame. Pulled apart. Destroyed. Devoured. Zhao stared from behind me. He looked completely stunned. Brother Jean. He watched the fourth-tier formation that had almost killed us vanish. Did you just eat it? I didn't answer. The black flame returned to my body. The moment it entered, my body shook. A surge of pure fire mana flowed through my veins. The black flame had purified everything. My absolute zero core immediately attacked the foreign energy. Ice and fire collided. My channels expanded. My strength climbed. The barrier between third tier and fourth tier appeared. I could break through. Right now. Any moment. But I didn't. I clenched my teeth. Then I forced the energy down. Into my muscles. Into my bones. Into my foundation. Power without control was worthless. A higher rank meant nothing if the foundation was weak. I wanted absolute dominance. Not a fake breakthrough. 5 minutes later, the energy finally settled. I was still at peak third tier, but the pressure coming from my body had changed. Zhao Kuo and Chun Mo both felt it. Even they looked uncomfortable. It was stronger than the pressure Chu Yunfan had released earlier. I exhaled. Cold mist mixed with sparks left my mouth. My face looked healthier. The villa returned to normal. Only pure mana remained. Zhao Kuo swallowed. Brother Jean, you drained a fourth-tier killing formation? I picked up a new handkerchief. Wiped the sweat from my forehead. Tasted average. I looked around. But it'll work as a foundation. At the same time, deep beneath St. Martial Academy, the underground monitoring center was silent. Several instructors stared at the massive energy screen. A warning flashed. Alert. Villa 1 fire core output collapsing. Earth fire poison remaining amount. 0. Formation core energy. Empty. A bald instructor slammed his hand onto the control panel. That's impossible. That's the flame prison formation. It can torture a fourth-tier fighter. 3 freshmen at third tier survived it. His eyes widened. They drained the entire formation. The gray-robed old man sitting in the center slowly placed down his tea. His eyes stayed fixed on the screen. On me. Sitting in my wheelchair. Looking weak. Looking harmless. But the old man was smiling. No. He spoke softly. The formation wasn't destroyed. The others looked at him. Then what happened? The old man stood. His eyes burned with excitement. It was eaten. Silence. Eaten. That's impossible. The old man shook his head. Nothing is impossible. He looked at my image. SSS rank. So this is the true meaning of a concept-level ability. Crossing ranks. Suppressing rules. Devouring power at the source. He turned away from the screen. Disable the surveillance inside Villa 1. The instructors froze. Also, add Lu Jin to next week's Abyss Wasteland simulation. One instructor immediately objected. Director, that trial sequence is reserved for the strongest veteran monsters. Lu Jin is only third tier. Isn't this too early? The old man smiled. Too early. He looked toward the ceiling. The old master threw him into the arena. So we'll release the wolves waiting inside. His voice became colder. I want to see just how sharp the blade that claims it can burn gods really is. I woke up to a bounty on my head. Not a small one, either. 100 million wasteland credits. And the reward? A top-tier energy weapon from the Chu family vault. The kind of money that made people forget the meaning of self-preservation. Which was exactly why I knew they were coming. They thought I was weak. They thought I was a cripple sitting in a wheelchair, a sick guy who had burned through some expensive one-time artifact to barely survive a fight. They thought I was easy prey. That mistake was going to cost them everything. The morning sun barely reached the inside of my villa. The air was so dense with energy that it rolled across the metallic floor like a thin layer of fog. I sat on the leather couch and crushed the last piece of an exhausted energy crystal between my fingers. The crystal shattered. Fine dust slipped through my pale fingers and scattered onto the floor. After a full night of recovery, the violent energy I had absorbed from that fourth-level killing formation had finally settled into my body. My strength had reached the peak of the third tier. My body had stepped into the realm of true, superhuman physical power. I lifted a white handkerchief and covered my mouth. A cough escaped. This time, the blood on the cloth wasn't black anymore. There was a trace of red. That meant the poison freezing my body was finally being forced out. My face no longer looked like a corpse. The grayness was fading. There was a cold sharpness replacing it. A sign that my body was healing. "Brother Jean, eat something." Zhaoque walked out carrying a massive plate of grilled meat. The heat coming off it was intense enough to warm the entire room. The fat on his body had tightened overnight, and the energy inside him rolled like distant thunder. One night, that was all it took. Inside this top-level villa, with its terrifying energy concentration, Zhaoque's special ability had broken through. His body had reached the second tier. A huge jump. In the corner of the room, the shadows moved. Chun Imo stepped out silently, like he had been there the entire time. He spun a black dagger around his fingers. The darkness around him had become quieter, harder to detect. He had broken through too. That was the terrifying potential of gifted fighters. With enough resources, early growth became almost effortless. I didn't touch the food. Instead, I looked at Chinemo. "How bad is it outside?" His expression turned serious. He placed a small projector on the table. The device activated. A holographic screen appeared. And there I was. A picture of me sitting in my wheelchair. Right on the front page of the underground black market network. The information was simple. Target, Lu Jin. New student at the 7th Bay City Academy. Mission, destroy his limbs inside the academy. Or kill him outside the city. Reward, 100 million wasteland credits. Plus 1 premium 4th-level energy weapon from the Chu family vault. Damn, Zhaoque slapped his leg. 100 million? The Chu family is loaded. He frowned. But Jean took down Chu Yunfan instantly yesterday. That pushed him straight into 10th place on the deathmatch rankings. How are these older students still willing to move against him? Chen Imo gave a cold laugh. Because you're overestimating Chu Yunfan. He slowly wiped his dagger. To the veterans who survived the front lines, Chu Yunfan's ranking was a joke. Zhaoque blinked. A joke? Yeah. Chen Mo's eyes narrowed. They say his rank came from family resources, expensive medicine, and equipment. The Chu family built him into a fighter. He wasn't forged in battle. He was manufactured. Zhaoque looked at the screen. So everyone thinks he was fake. Exactly. Chinemo looked at me. They think you didn't beat him with your own strength. They think you used some priceless artifact. Maybe a damage reflection item. Maybe a one-time weapon. They believe whatever you used yesterday is gone. His voice became colder. And because your energy reading only shows peak 3rd tier. To them, we're 3 idiots holding the key to a luxury villa while completely defenseless. I leaned back. A faint smile appeared. I like this. People were always most dangerous when they believed they understood you. And they were always easiest to kill when they were confident. 100 million. I glanced at the bounty. That's not even enough for a few system draws. Before anyone could respond, the doorbell rang. Not politely. The entire villa shook. The metal door vibrated violently as someone outside forced energy into the defensive barrier. Warning lights flashed across the room. Someone wasn't knocking. They were challenging the villa itself. Chun Imo disappeared instantly. His presence vanished. Zhaoque clenched his fists. I stayed on the couch. Opened the door. Zhaoque walked forward. The heavy metal entrance opened. 3 senior students stood outside, all wearing 3rd-year uniforms. The man in front was tall and lean. A scar crossed his eyebrow. Wind energy surrounded his body like invisible blades. 4th tier. 5 stars. The pressure alone made Zhaoque's muscles tighten. This guy was different. He had the smell of someone who had actually fought for his life. The scarred man looked past Zhaoque. His eyes landed on me. So you're Lu Jin? His mouth curled. The sick kid who used a cheap trick to beat Chu Yunfan? He crossed his arms. My name is Bai Xiao. I'm ranked 27th on the St. Martial deathmatch list. I came back from the 3rd front line. He emphasized those last words. A real fighter. That was what he meant. Not someone like Chu Yunfan. Bai Xiao reached into his jacket. Then he pulled out a blood-red metal token. He threw it. Hard. The token cut through the air. A sonic boom exploded. This wasn't a message. It was an attack. He wanted to crush my skull and collect the bounty. Jean, Zhao shouted. He moved forward. But he was too slow. The token was already in front of my face. 1 inch away. Then, snap. A tiny sound. That was all. I hadn't moved from the couch. I simply raised my hand. 2 fingers. That was enough. The blood-red token stopped. The wind energy wrapped around it disappeared instantly. The only thing left was a gentle breeze moving a few strands of my hair. No artifact. No hidden weapon. No special trick. Just strength. Pure physical strength. Bai Xiao froze. His pupils shrank. Impossible. His attack could break through defenses of fighters at the same level. Nobody caught it with 2 fingers. Wasn't Lu Jin supposed to be a powerless third-tier cripple? What kind of monster was hiding under that skin? I ignored his expression. I looked down at the token. The front showed the head of a terrifying beast. The back had several words engraved into it. Deep Zone Simulation Battle. Special Clearance. Bai Xiao swallowed. The arrogance was gone from his voice. This is a special invitation from the Academy. Tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. B rank restricted zone. Sandstorm Wasteland. The Academy approved your entry into the advanced simulation battle normally reserved for senior students. I looked up. That's it. The moment I raised my eyes, Bai Xiao felt it. A cold blue light appeared deep inside my pupils. The temperature in the room dropped instantly. His wind energy trembled. Not from weakness, from fear. His instincts screamed at him. Run. This wasn't prey. This was a predator. I spoke calmly. If you deliver something, deliver it properly. My fingers tightened. Crack. The metal token bent. A clear fingerprint appeared on the surface. Bai Xiao's breathing stopped. I tossed the damaged token onto the table. Go back. Tell everyone chasing that bounty. They can try to buy my life. I looked directly at him. But they'd better bring enough money. Because they'll need to buy their own coffins too. I pointed toward the door. Leave. The single word carried a fraction of my true power. The pressure exploded outward. Boom. Bai Xiao and the 2 students behind him were thrown backward. They flew more than 30 feet before crashing into the grass outside. Blood sprayed from Bai Xiao's mouth. Frost covered his chest. He stared at the closing metal door. He didn't threaten me. He didn't say another word. He ran. Inside the villa, Zhao Kuo looked like he had just watched a legend being born. Jean, that was insane. A 4th-tier 5-star fighter didn't even get through the door. I picked up the damaged token. My thumb brushed across the beast symbol. Don't celebrate yet. My voice was quiet. That attack cost me. I took a slow breath. The sweetness of blood rose in my throat. The poison inside me was reacting again. My body was stronger now, but not strong enough. I couldn't keep fighting enemies above my level forever. I needed more power. I needed higher-level beast cores. I needed another system draw. Zhao Kuo, Chen Mo, prepare advanced combat packs. I put the token away. Tomorrow, I would enter the Sandstorm Wasteland. And everyone coming for the bounty. Everyone hoping to collect my head. I looked toward the distant city. My eyes burned with cold fire. None of them are coming back. The moment I stepped into the Sandstorm Wasteland, I knew one thing. Everyone hunting me had made the same mistake. They thought I was a fighter who depended on tricks. They thought my victory against Chu Yunfan was some lucky artifact. They thought my body was weak. They were about to learn the truth. The transport aircraft door opened at 100 feet above the ground. The wind exploded into the cabin. It carried the smell of sulfur and burning sand. Outside was nothing but endless red desert. The land was broken by massive cracks. Deep below those cracks were monster nests. This was the Academy's B-rank restricted zone, the Sandstorm Wasteland. The instructor standing near the door looked at us. Jump. No parachutes. No safety equipment. For anyone above the 3rd tier, a 100-foot drop was nothing. Students jumped one after another. Their bodies streaked through the sky like falling stars. I walked to the edge of the aircraft. The dry heat hit my lungs. I coughed quietly. Jean. Zhao Kuo stepped in front of me. His body was covered in dark golden armor. Let me carry you down. Chen Mo said nothing. He simply stepped off the aircraft. His body disappeared into the air. By the time he landed, he had already merged with the shadow of a distant dune. I pushed Zhao Kuo's hand away. No need. I looked down at the wasteland below. Then I stepped forward and jumped. My body dropped straight down, like a piece of falling steel. Boom. The moment my feet touched the ground, the earth shook. The sand around me sank. A crater spread 10 meters in every direction. Dust filled the air. But I stood there. My knees never bent. My body had already surpassed normal human limits. I brushed the sand off my coat. Move. I walked deeper into the wasteland. A few seconds later, Zhaoque landed behind me. He created an even bigger crater. Then he hurried after me. The sandstorm wasteland was a maze. We reached the Red Rock Canyon after traveling several miles. Dark red cliffs rose hundreds of feet into the sky. The heat distorted the air. Everything looked unreal. Stop. Chen Mo appeared from the shadows. His dagger was already in his hand. His eyes were locked on the flat sand ahead. An ambush. Zhaoque immediately stepped in front of me. Chen Mo shook his head. Not people. A trap. He stared at the ground. There are hidden energy circuits under the sand. Clap, clap, clap. Slow applause echoed from above. A cold voice followed. Not bad. For someone with an SS rank shadow ability, your senses are impressive. A thin young man appeared on the cliff. He wore a gray robe. A colorful snake wrapped around his hand. He looked down at us like we were already dead. His energy pressure was stronger than Bai Zhao's. Much stronger. 4th tier. 8 stars. Chen Mo's expression changed. Deathmatch rank 14. Nickname, Viper. His voice lowered. He specializes in poison and traps. If he's showing himself, we're already caught. The man on the cliff smiled. Smart. Then he crushed a yellow device in his hand. Bai Zhao came back and told me something interesting. He looked at me. He said your body was strong enough to fight monsters barehanded. A cruel smile appeared. That's exactly why I didn't want a direct fight. 100 million credits. And a premium weapon from the Chu family. Lu Jin. Today, this canyon becomes your grave. The ground exploded. The sand beneath our feet began moving. Not shifting. Spinning. A massive vortex formed instantly. 200 meters wide. The entire desert turned into a giant sinking trap. A terrifying force grabbed our legs, dragging us underground. Then came another sound. Hiss, hiss, hiss. The edges of the vortex erupted. Hundreds of giant red scorpions crawled out. Each one was the size of a large dog. Their tails glowed with blue poison. 3rd-tier monsters. Flame scorpions. Viper laughed from above. What does physical strength matter now? This burial sand trap was designed specifically against people like you. The harder you struggle, the faster you sink. When your strength runs out, these creatures will eat every piece of you. He wasn't planning to overpower me. He had studied me and built the perfect counter. Zhaoque, Chen Mo. The sand had already reached my knees. I didn't move. Those scorpions are yours. Zhaoque grinned. Got it. His golden armor exploded across his body. Even trapped by the sand, his upper body moved like a machine. His fists slammed into the incoming monsters. Every punch crushed a scorpion. Chen Mo vanished into the shadows covering the sand. His dagger flashed. Every strike killed with precision. I left them those monsters on purpose. They needed real fights. They needed pressure. The fastest way to grow was surviving moments where death was one step away. Viper stared down at me. Then his smile disappeared. You're actually using my monsters to train them? His expression twisted. You think this is a game? Fine. You want to die? I'll help you. He raised both hands. The heat above the canyon gathered. Energy condensed. A massive flaming serpent appeared. Over 30 feet long. Its body burned with enough heat to melt steel. It rushed toward me. The sand trapped my legs. The fire serpent descended from above. A perfect kill. Except, I looked up. My eyes met Viper's from across the canyon. Designed against physical fighters? A faint smile appeared. Who told you I was one? The world went silent. My left eye changed. The color of absolute cold filled it. My ability awakened. Absolute 0. Frozen world. Crack. A tiny sound echoed through the burning canyon. Then, ice exploded outward. A wave of freezing air rushed across the ground faster than sound. The giant sand vortex stopped. Not slowed. Stopped. 200 meters of red desert froze instantly. The moving sand became solid blue ice. The hidden energy circuits beneath the ground shattered. Viper's face changed. What? He stared in disbelief. You froze the entire trap? That was a peak 4th-tier formation. How? The answer was simple. Because he had never understood what I was. The fire serpent crashed toward me. But before it reached my body, it stopped. The flames began freezing. White frost spread from its head. Then, boom, the entire serpent became an ice statue. It shattered into thousands of pieces. Viper stepped backward. Fear finally appeared on his face. He wasn't using an artifact. Bai Shao lied to me. His instincts screamed, "Run." This wasn't prey. This was a monster. He turned and fled. Running. I pulled my frozen legs free from the ice. I raised my hand. A strand of black flame appeared on my fingertip. "If you came here, leave your life behind." The black flame stretched. It became a thin line of darkness. A weapon that crossed the distance instantly. No. Viper barely made it 200 meters. The black line pierced his back. There was no explosion. No dramatic impact. Just silence. Then black flames erupted from his body. 1 second later, a 4th-tier 8-star fighter vanished. Burned into ash. Only a bronze storage ring fell onto the rocks. A small metallic sound. That was all. I lowered my hand. Then, cough. My body shook. Another cough escaped. This time, I didn't hide the blood. Dark blood slipped from the corner of my mouth. Using a large-scale freezing attack and the black flame at the same time had pushed my body too far. My enhanced body held together. But the poison inside me reacted. My level was still too low. I wiped away the blood. Then I reached out. The storage ring flew into my hand. Behind me, Zhao Kuo and Chun Mo finished the last of the scorpions. Both were covered in blood. Both were exhausted. But their energy was different. Their second-tier foundations had become much stronger. Real battles were the fastest way to improve. "Jean." Zhao Kuo looked at the blood on my face. "Are you okay?" "Fine." I examined the ring. Just the poison leaving my body. I sent my awareness inside. Then my eyes narrowed. Inside were millions of credits. Monster cores. And something else. A 4th-tier wind core. The energy inside it was incredible. Perfect. With this core, and the resources I had already collected, I finally had enough for my second system draw. I closed my hand around the core. "Collect the scorpion materials." Zhao Kuo nodded. I looked deeper into the canyon. My eyes burned. 100 million credits. This was only the beginning. I started walking. Let's go deeper. The real hunt had just started.